What's up, Cuzzy Wuzzies? You're listening to the Bay Ridge Boys, History Hyenas. Bad.
Where'd you get that?
We made it. Yeah. That's the History Hyenas theme song. You know what it is. A little Whitney Houston beats, little hyena cackles. You know who it is. It's Chrissy D and Yanni P. We are the History Hyenas, and we're two in-the-closet gay fucking kids.
It's just what it is. And you know what? Having our next guest, this is our second two-a-week guest, Ari Shaffir, just made me realize, because he was marveling over our intro song, we might be the first and only people to have used hyena cackles and put them to music.
Oh, yeah. It's very possible.
Yeah.
It's very possible.
Who else has done that?
Do you think the second H that you put into hyenas, do you think the second H is for homos?
It's for homos.
Yeah.
It's for homos, and it's just a marketing plan by me, because a lot of people are like, you say hyenas, stupid. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm doing it on purpose so you remember my fucking podcast.
But you also notice that he has such a Queens accent, it's almost like a speech impediment.
Yeah.
So it qualifies. He would have to go to a speech therapist to not sound like Edith from Archie Bunker.
Yeah, like I'm so Queens, and I'm so old school Catholic Queens, like that. You know, I'm used to being in around the comedy scene or whatever. I know,
and Jews.
I know so many Jewish people now.
Yeah,
so
which
it's
is
just
wild. They don't have horns.
But like, if Debo was here, would be like, yo, Ari, like, yeah, like, where's your horns? Or like, you're not gonna steal my money, right? You know, like they would say things like that. And like because you don't meet any Jewish people deep in Queens.
You don't meet any Jewish people in Queens?
No, you do.
You do.
I was in Ridgewood is an insulated Catholic community.
You have to understand Ridgewood.
It's all Puerto Ricans and guys that work at the docks.
Yeah.
You know, that's what the neighborhood is. So it's all Catholic.
And it's kind of like, it's next to Bushwick. It's like the first neighborhood in Queens, and it's tucked away against this railroad track. So it's kind of like, you wouldn't know. I didn't even know it was there, to be honest with you. I'm from here. I didn't know it was there.
It's very gentrified now.
Yeah, but back when you were growing up, there was no Jews in sight, and you didn't really leave Ridgewood.
I never left Ridgewood. I went to Catholic grammar school, Catholic high school, Catholic college. Only when I got
Catholic college you go to?
St. Joseph's College in downtown Brooklyn.
Sounds Catholic.
Yeah.
When you lose stuff, do you say a prayer to Saint Anthony?
Saint Anthony. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pray to, but I've now removed myself from Catholicism. I've started taking CBD oil, and it's kind of like made me, be like, I don't need it, but I still do have Catholic tattoos all over my body.
What does CBD oil have to do with?
Because CBD oil
get you high.
Well, because CBD oil, it relaxes me enough for like all those sayings that I try to live by that like help me like stay in reality. That that before CBD oil I just tattooed on my body.
Yeah.
Now CBD oil, I just like
feel it.
I always feel it. Yeah, so I'm always present.
Yeah.
You guys got something in common in that.
Me and Ari do?
Yeah. Well, besides being comedians and cute kids.
Yeah.
Is you're a good looking kid.
Ari is
a good looking kid.
Yeah.
I'm Semitically good looking. If you're not into Semitic looks,
yeah.
I'm a troll.
Yeah, if you are, you're like,
Are you basically saying you're good looking for a Jew?
For a Jew,
yeah.
But if you're in, like David Taylor always says, like when he sees a girl flirt with me, is like that she must be Jewish,
right?
Because like, I've just got a power over Jewish chicks.
Yeah. Who do you think has like a wild Jew look like you two? Who do you think is as wild Jewish looking as you?
Oh,
like a wild Jewish look.
I said a wild Jew look. I didn't.
Yeah,
like I guess Moshe Kasher,
Louis Katz,
Ruth Bader Ginsburg,
Moshe Kasher, in comedy for sure, Sandler-ish, but not really, but a little bit.
Seinfeld,
but he's disgusting.
Yeah. At one point, you were growing out the curls. I remember that in Montreal.
I did that was dope for Edinburgh. Thanks.
That was dope, man.
Yeah, I used to have them. They grew up pretty long. My girlfriend fucking hated them.
Yeah.
I just kept cutting around it, and I would tell like barbers, I'm like, don't cut that. Like, okay, I'm like, no, but seriously, I'm working on something. Don't cut it.
No, what I was going to say is what you have in common is that you, like Chris, he grew up extremely Catholic.
Yeah.
And then you grew up
Orthodox Jewish.
Heavily
Orthodox Jewish, yeah.
But are you still practicing?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, see, that's the difference.
I'm not practicing, you fucking idiot.
You had a pulled pork sandwich last night at Sal's.
I don't know the fucking Jew rules.
Shabbos.
Dude, I don't know the Jew rules. That's like a lot of things like I just don't know.
You don't even know about it.
I don't know.
That's why we got to have Jews on here just to continue your education on what Jews are.
I do this Q&A on my hours for like doing the check drops. I'm like, anything you've ever wanted to know about Judaism at all, ask me. And the things range from like, what is Yom Kippur about to like, How come you put like shrink wrap on your couches?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I wanted to know? Is it true is it true, or is it just like folklore that like when the rabbi circumcises you, he sucks the blood out of your dick and then spits it out in a bowl?
Okay.
You've heard of that before.
I've heard that rumor too.
Yeah. He does not suck the dick. He doesn't want to swallow. He really just, it's for anesthetic, like not anesthetic, antiseptic.
Right, but he does put the kid's piece
For
in
a
his
couple
mouth.
pumps.
Yeah, some of them do it, and some of them just like lick their fingers and wipe it off.
Right.
It comes from 2,000 years ago when you're
Right.
chopping a dick in the desert.
So
Don't get sand in there.
So
Fucking
does
wipe it
Catholic
out.
priests sucking little kids' dicks. That comes from 2,000 years ago.
Yeah, it's a little different. That one's more sexual. This is
Yeah.
more like
Yeah,
Well,
but
I got skull
clinical.
fucked by by the O'Shanahan brothers. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
got skull fucked.
When I've said told her on the podcast before.
Yeah.
I was 12, 13 years old. I was sitting on the toilet taking a shit. I was like the runt of the group, the youngest guy in the group. And my friends just came in one day. One of the O'Shanahan brothers held my thighs down. The other one came in and just pumped his cock in my mouth a couple of times.
Yeah, it's called Ridgewood discipline.
Yeah, and then
Oh,
I couldn't.
God.
I
He
couldn't.
got raped, is what he said.
Yeah, and then for like years after that, I just didn't deal with it. Like, and I wouldn't like suck on a lollipop, like Tootsie Rolls. Like, I just because it would bring me back to that thing, and I would sweat a lot. But it motivated me to get like as good at basketball as I could, to like want to get out of the neighborhood. Oh yeah, it was like a whole thing. So it was like now, like those friends, they're still like insulated in all the Catholic bullshit, but they're not happy with their lives. They've never left the neighborhood. So for me, it's like looking back on it, it's like, you know what? I got skull fucked. I got
Best
a couple
thing
of
that ever happened to you.
I got a couple of pumps in the throat, but I have what my friends don't have, and
You
that's
turned a rape into a positive.
Did
Exactly.
he pour one down your throat or just?
No, I didn't pour one down my throat, but he slapped it around in my mouth a little bit. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I mean, I guess I could have kept my mouth shut. I didn't. I was, So
You
there's
told?
what?
Kept your mouth shut. No,
No,
they
I mean,
they beat you up until you opened your mouth. Though.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I used to get destroyed. They used to take shits in my garbage can. They pushed my air conditioner out the window.
We had a rapist, an oral rapist in Maryland when I was there, University of Maryland.
Right.
He oral raped 3 women, and then the 4th woman just bit his dick.
Sure.
And then they caught him that way. He went to the hospital. She bit it hard, and the other 3 women are like, "Oh yeah, why didn't we?"
That's a move.
Why didn't we think of that?
Was there for that move was there for the
It
taking.
was there for the taking.
Yeah.
It's a phosphor.
Yeah, but I mean, I get it. I get now, but I didn't even think of biting the dick when it happened to me.
I mean, you don't want to bite a dick, That's
Right.
part of it.
Right.
Yeah, but it's a good move if you're getting assaulted. It is a good move.
And so you got big enough now you could mouth rape someone else.
Yeah, I could now. Now I guess, but I have no desire. I have no desire at all. But
Yeah, that's on you, man. That's cool.
But we do speak about it on the podcast. I am a little strange in the sense that, I'm extremely sexually attracted to. I love women. I love thinking about sex with women, but I really get lost in men. Like I fall in love with men, but have sex with women. So it's like,
How about Ari? Would you crawl on his lap?
Well, yeah. Yesterday when we were talking at Sal's Super Bowl party, we were talking about stuff, and I would have rather done that than try to talk to a girl.
So you're not scared?
I'm the same way, dude. If most of my guy friends had pussies like that, I'd be good.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't no interest in women.
No, same with me. Yeah.
See,
But sometimes I'll get into like a really deep conversation with like say Hyenas, and I'll go try to bang a prostitute.
so he's sexually attracted to women, and he's moral. He's romantic.
But a guy's conversation gets me in the mood to fuck the woman.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a weird thing that probably got stuck in there when I got skull fucked.
Right. Oh, yeah, maybe.
What do you think about that?
the skull fucking?
No, what do you think about his sexuality? So he's romantically attracted to guys, sexually attracted to women.
I mean, it's not something you come across every day.
It's unique.
It's unique.
Yeah.
To each his own. That's cool.
But I'm not gay. I have no desire. I don't want to.
I disagree, but that's
Yeah. Well, I may sound it, but in my head, I've never thought about having sex with a guy.
maybe you should. Have you ever tried?
No.
No, but it'd be weird though.
Yeah.
because it is really a physical thing. Because even like the women you're not into every woman, right?
No, he's into every woman. Yeah, pretty much every woman.
You go
Some
anywhere?
of the women that if I showed you if I had sex with, you'd be
You
like,
wouldn't
that's a
be-
lie.
you wouldn't believe it was
But then
possible.
I have video evidence of it.
Yeah.
Wow, because I picture you as just into hot chicks.
He gets a lot of
No, I
those
got
too.
yeah. But I also
He'll bang your mom. He'll
Holds
bang
a hole.
anything. Yeah.
Well, I was, but recently, as of late, like recent, the last couple of weeks, things have been changing in my mind. I've been understanding that the energy that I'm using to talk to all these girls and do that is
taking away.
it's counterproductive. I want my career to last. I can't use that energy on that. I have to use it on career stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy. Once you shift your energy and your focus, you're just like into not getting laid all the time. Then you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I have all this free time,
Exactly.
and you stop even thinking about it much.
Yeah, like I was. It's like every night. Like a month ago, it's like every night I have shows and I have to run home because I'm banging some girl. And it's like once I take that away, it's like every night is just at my own pace. It's beautiful. Writing new jokes,
Now you
coming
got-
up with new ideas.
You got more time to fall in love with guys now.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes,
A lot more free time to go to the movies, hold hands,
Whatever you guys want to do. Yeah.
get me a Lindsay tart.
I didn't want that Super Bowl party to end yesterday because it was mostly men.
It's mostly men in there. Yeah.
Yeah. What are the questions you have about Judaism?
About Judaism. So,
So, like, what did you see of us when you grew up? What did you think of us?
Okay,
That's
so-
what I want to
so-
know. What did you think about Jews?
okay, so here's what I thought. This is all true. So what we used to think about Jews, this is what used to happen. So first of all, we would never really see Jews. Me and my family would never really see Jews unless we would drive into this restaurant called Bamonte's, an old school Italian restaurant, but we'd have to drive into the Hasidic Jewish part of Brooklyn. And anytime we would drive to the
So you did see a Jew before you were 23.
I saw them, but I didn't know them. The
Yeah.
first Jew I ever met was Dana Strager. The
Did you bang her?
no, we didn't. No, we were physical therapy students together.
Okay.
But I wasn't sure. I did ask her because I was under the impression.
May I bang you?
Yeah, no, I didn't say that. But when we were working together as physical therapy classmates, because I just didn't know the rules, I wasn't sure if I was legally allowed to touch a Jewish girl. Like I didn't know.
No.
You want us to
not.
get you a dreidel? Looks like you need. You have a dreidel.
Can't
ISIS,
stop
do we have the
spinning
dreidel that we were supposed to get for Ari? Because he wants
actual one? No.
Jews just want to. Yeah, they
Yeah.
want to
It's
spin.
a natural thing.
It's a
Yeah,
natural
the dreidel
thing.
was just a replacement for that.
Yeah.
So I remember we were driving in my grandfather's Saturn
Yeah.
to go to Bamonte's, and when we get to the Hasidic Jewish neighborhoods, he would always put the windows up because he was like, oh, and I.
We don't rob.
No, I think he just thought that there was a smell. I think that's what he thought. Hasidic Jewish community.
No, there's a smell. It's not even them. It's they don't shower those fucking.
That's what he
clothes.
said. He was not a racist. He was just like, these people, because of their religion, they
My
stink
brother
a
just
little.
sent me this article. This guy got thrown off in some flight, American and United, something like that, because a bunch of passengers complained about his smell. Him and his wife.
Hasidic
The
Jewish
smell.
guy?
Orthodox, borderline Hasidic, and they're like, "We don't smell. It's ridiculous." But they got him like a hotel room, money for meals that night, and then they got him on another flight the next day.
Right.
So it's like if they're really just being anti-Semitic, why would they spend all this extra money?
Yeah.
It was like, no, passengers complained. And he goes, we asked the other passengers the next day if we smelled, and none of them said yes. And it's like, yeah, idiot, nobody's going to tell you smell. But I could look at those people, and I'm like, me and my brother, I was like, they for sure smell.
Yeah.
Now, what's the difference between Hasidism and Orthodox?
Okay, the laws are about the same. It's just the culture and the way they live. So the curly fries,
Yeah.
the sideburns, those are Hasidic.
Okay.
I had those for a couple years as when I was like rising up from Orthodox. But Hasidic is like bigger.
Okay.
And the
okay.
ones that look like Fiddle on the Roofs, those are all Hasidic.
Those are Hasidic.
Yeah, but that's just cultural. That's not a law to wear shit like that.
But do you have to be born into the Hasidic, or can you, as an Orthodox,
no, you can become
get
one. You can become
you
one.
can get
for sure.
housed out?
Yeah, you can get housed out for
Yeah.
sure. No, they can grab you and like,
Really?
change your mind.
But it's a little bit of inbreeding in there, right? Because it's so close. Like, like
beyond just Jews, fucking Jews. You mean
Right.
just them? Yeah.
specifically that community. I'm just saying, like, because they're so close that you're going to fuck your sister or first cousin.
Because you have to
by
you
accident.
have to marry someone who's also Hasidic.
Yeah, but
So essentially-
there's enough Hasidic Jews that you wouldn't have to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like you wouldn't have to do something from right in your neighborhood. It could be from one of the other Hasidic communities in Maryland or somewhere else.
Why don't you ever really see any Hasidic Jews that are like in really good shape? Like you never see a big jacked guy with it.
How would you know with all those fucking with the
Well, you
robes
could
they
just
have
tell
on?
the way they're walking. Like they're not jacked kids.
It's because their interest is really not in working out. If
Right.
you spend an hour a day working out, I'm assuming like dumb Guidos like you do that. Would they?
Yeah, I used
They-
to take steroids. Yeah,
You did a
Yeah.
cycle, right?
I did a cycle in Winchell. Yeah,
Yeah.
one cycle?
yeah.
In and out?
Well, yeah, it was like 3 months. So I mean,
Oh, yeah.
but I did it illegally because I was in my senior year in college to play basketball. I was trying to make it professionally overseas, so I took a little juice.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's just smart.
Yeah,
But they wouldn't do. They were like, you can use that time learning the Talmud. Why would
right. I
you-
got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Are you Ashkenazi?
Ashkenazi. Those
Now
are
here's
those,
the deal.
Now, what's because Ashkenazi sometimes they look like straight up Puerto Ricans, right?
Well,
or those
No,
Sephardic.
no, Sephardic.
Okay,
Sephardic are
Those
the
fucking hot.
brownies.
Sephardics are fucking smoking hot.
Sephardics are the hotter ones. For
But would a
sure.
Sephardic go with an Ashkenazi? It's no problem.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Is a Jew a Jew?
Sort of. And that's more modern now. My dad, there's this story that his sister, when they moved to Israel, there was Ashkenazi and Sephardi Jews came together. His sister was dating a Sephardic kid.
Okay.
And him and his buddy Aaron found that kid and put him in the hospital. They beat the shit out of him
Wow.
and put him in the hospital.
Wow.
Because according to him, no fucking Sephardi is going to date my
That's wild.
fucking sister.
Wow.
Yeah, I asked him about it now. I'm like, but you're all Jews. He goes, yeah, no, now I understand how silly that was.
You see,
Interesting.
But at the
humans are
time-
shitty.
Yeah.
Shit, we need someone to hate.
We need someone to hate.
In a country where it was only Jews,
Yeah.
we're like, and we had just come out of the Holocaust.
Yeah.
They're like, still though.
We're tribal. It's all
Gotta be
tribalism.
Smart. Here's the thing about Ashkenazis. They found that Ashkenazis are like the smartest people on the planet. You have that line that I
believe
love in your, I think it's the stuff you're doing now where you're just like, people always wonder, it's like, because we're smarter than you guys. You want to know the truth why Jews are doing good?
We're just smarter.
We're just smarter.
I don't know if you want to accept that or not. But
It's the truth, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when they say black guys got big dicks. It's like, okay, and everyone's like, sure, cool. So there's other physical, our brains are just, I don't know.
Well,
Part of it's like cultural. We value education, but like we value education because we're smarter.
They say Ashkenazi Jews have like the highest average IQ of any group.
Really?
Yeah.
I believe that.
That's what
Yeah.
they
That's
say.
the Woody Allen Jews.
So what is Ashkenazi? What's the where's Ashkenazi?
My best friend Chet, he's Ashkenazi.
Okay, so
Okay.
Jews get kicked out of Israel a lot over the years, and sometimes we get kicked out just right outside the border, and sometimes they got really pushed us away, and it was called diaspora, and they had to go everywhere. And some went north to like Poland, Romania, Hungary, Czech Republic, even England and places like that, France, and they kind of and those are Ashkenazi Jews. Those are white areas, those are white Jews, and some Iraq, Iran, Jordan, Syria.
The Sephardic. Those are the ones who are
Sephardic.
fucking pieces.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But, I mean, you'll get a cute Ashkenazi Jew here and there,
Yeah,
but the
no, you get
Sephardics are legit, breathtakingly gorgeous
Well,
people.
it's like Persians. It's like you get some
Right.
of those Persian princes, but then you get some Iranian chicks who are fat plumpers, and you're like,
Sure,
okay,
yeah.
it's not all of them.
Now, why do the people keep why are people always scapegoating the Jews? Why is it always the Jew? It always you're like, these people they're just crushing it. They're sticking to themselves.
Yeah.
And then it's always fucking the Jews.
Jews never bothered me.
Yeah.
Even growing up, even though I never met them, the Jews never pissed me off. It was
Is
just
it
the
'cause of
Chinese.
Jesus? Is it Jesus? Is it? It predates Jesus, right?
I think it does predate Jesus.
Yeah.
I think it's really because we stick to ourselves. And then, what do you think? You're better than us?
Yeah.
I think it's that. I think it's like, what, fucking join in or fucking get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
No, you don't want to assimilate. I get it.
Yeah, and so it's like, and they don't even see you guys really as people. They're like, they don't hate you. They don't like you. They just don't care. A couple of the young ones might say hi and like talk and stuff.
Right.
But like most of the, like, you have nothing to do with what we want to
Yeah,
get
like
done.
an Hasidic Jewish person sees me, it's like not that he or she doesn't like me. I just don't exist to them.
Don't
I'm just,
exist.
I'm not. They have nothing in common with me. They don't care.
I say this in my special, but I'm like, to you, to Hasidic Jews, you guys, they see you the same way you see pigeons.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just they're not. They don't want to kill us. They
just don't give a shit.
acknowledge it's a living thing,
Yeah,
but they're not
they're
going to talk to a pigeon.
Right, they're here.
Yeah.
But
That's
who
fine.
would be friends with one? That's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the garb and a lot of those traditions,
Yeah.
they just come from the past and they just didn't change.
Didn't change. It comes from the way they dress, those Hasidic Jews, the way they dress
Right.
like that. It comes from 16th century Poland. It was the first time Jews had success financially.
Okay.
And so they were like, let's dress like that by class. Kind of like rappers, where they're like, let's dress like rich. Now that we're rich, we should dress up, you know, and
Right.
purple suits and all that shit is them trying to like, what do rich people dress like? So back then, the Polish noblemen dressed like that.
So you're saying in the 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, the way they dressed then is how they dress today. It's never really
Same
changed.
shit.
Wow, that's
Same
so
shit.
So a
fascinating.
picture of a Hasidic Jew from 1805 looks the same as
Almost
today.
exactly the same.
Wow.
You can get more machine made stuff. You have more access to it, you know, to like those giant fucking fur caps.
Right.
And so
stuff.
you could see like a Polish nobleman in 1600 and he would look like a Hasidic
He would look
Jew.
exactly like a Hasidic Jew.
And that-
Absolutely.
And so why did they stop there? Why did
because
they?
then they made their communities and like, this is how we dress in this community. Their styles changed and they just kind of stuck. They don't have any, like, they're not looking for fashion.
Now let me see
weird.
if I get this right. When you when you get
I love
married,
this whole discussion. Yeah.
when you get married
Yeah.
to you're a Hasidic Jew, you get married. That the wife has to shave her head, or the wife has to come out with a wig always because she can't ever show her real hair to anyone's not her
It's
husband.
after marriage. It's not during the wedding. During the wedding, you wear your real hair.
Okay.
Because once you're married, it goes from the law of thou shalt not covet your neighbor's wife. And they said one of the things that you would covet is hair. Hair is an attractive
I love
quality.
to
in a
smell
person.
hair.
Yeah,
women,
I like
women,
smell
I love
hair
to smell
too.
women's hair.
And
Yeah.
feet. He likes feet.
Well, really?
I'll put them in my mouth. Yeah, like a pacifier.
He's a big. It's like actually like
I
he
like to
loves
bang
feet.
with one just in my mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His wife's gonna have a long few
Yeah.
years with him.
Wait, I guess if you go like this and as you're like,
He loves. He's
Yeah,
like
no,
obsessed
you
with.
just have-
He'll send me
yeah,
pictures
like-
about look at her foot.
Missionary, yeah, and then I
and
would
then
just
you're
have it.
and you're tagging it.
Yeah, like
Wow,
some of the
wow.
toots
Yeah.
on Instagram that like DM me. I'm like, do you think this girl's hot? And he can't make a judgment call unless he sees a pic of her feet.
Yeah.
So you want used feet or fresh feet?
I like fresh, feminine feet, and I
Yeah.
like taking care of feet. Feminine.
No, but he'll put his fiance's foot in
Straight
his
from
mouth
walking
right
around?
after work.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
I
my
don't-
gosh.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's horrifying.
women. There's a lot of femininity in the foot. I can't like guys' feet. Just it's
gross.
Masculinity and femininity is you can really see it in feet.
My feet are repulsive.
Your feet are a fucking hate crime.
My
they
feet
need to
look
be
like
put
they're
down.
broken. Yeah,
your feet need to be fucking put down.
Yeah. So
First of all, did you know the Old Testament? That's the Jewish Bible. So you've been half Jew your whole life.
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's why you got in show business.
In the beginning of Christianity, when they're trying to convert a lot of people and get them in, they made them convert to Judaism first and then become a Christian.
Right.
Because at first they said only Jews become Christians, not Muslims. So for Muslims, I want to be Christian, like you got to be Jewish, and then we can convert you. Then
can't the Christians and Jews just get together and just take down the Sanjadis?
Yeah, take them out. Yeah.
Yeah, because that'd be nice. Yeah,
because we got that's a Muzzy on the soundboard.
Yeah,
he's muzzed out.
Zach ISIS, we call him.
Yeah, he's muzzed out. Palestinian kid.
So the shaving the hair so you don't get attracted. Really, you can just cover it. But they're like, let's look nice and let's get wigs.
So a married Hasidic Jewish woman will have a shaved head, for the most part, a short haircut.
Or she just when they're out, they can have regular long hair, but when they're out, they got to put it under like a fucking
that wig.
Yeah, or not even a wig. You could put it into a hat.
But
really
like,
cover it though.
But like behind closed doors, like they do, they're as sexual as everybody else. They're giving blowjobs, people, everything. They're going nuts. They're watching porn, everything.
No way, they're watching porn.
They're not doing that. No, I don't understand. I don't know the culture.
They might give blowjobs, but that's 50-50 on that one. I don't really know, but they definitely fuck. And the commandment is go ahead, fuck a lot,
fuck a lot,
make a lot of kids.
Well, because they all have so many kids. But my Aunt Eileen, who was a nurse at Wyckoff Heights Hospital, and there's a good amount. I don't know if it's Hasidic or Orthodox Jews, but it was definitely guys with the hats, like Jew hats would come in. She would say that
hats.
Like with the top, like they,
I just like hearing it come out of your mouth. Jew hats.
No, but I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just trying. I didn't say you were. You know what I mean?
It's the only way you know how to do it. You're just trying your best.
Yeah, the hats would come in.
Because you met your first Jew at 23. This is new to you.
It's new to me.
Yeah.
She would come in. My aunt would say they would come in often. Like this would happen often with like horrifying STDs, gonorrhea, chlamydia, herpes, because they're paying top thousands of dollars to prostitutes to have sex with them with no condom, and they get these diseases, and the wife is just sitting in the room with the kids because you can't divorce, and it's just like, this is what's happening. Don't, I
have to say, I would go to like when I used to go to like those late night strip clubs.
Yeah,
you'd see Hasidics. Yeah.
Here's the thing, because it's strange, because when they're dressed like that, your mind reads that as rabbi.
Yes,
but they're not rabbis. Just the same way, like your priest dresses with that collar, and everyone else, even if they're devout, they wear normal clothes.
Right.
But in Judaism, in Hasidic Judaism, it's like the dress is almost exactly the same. And so they're so different from us. You just picture them as these super devout people, but they're not. And they have the same urges we all have.
Right.
And they're some of them are degens.
Yeah.
And they have to fight it. And I saw the first one I ever saw in Montreal, the Hasidic Jew letting out of his car a big black hooker right outside that tranny strip club. Cleopatra, and it was like, what? And it's like, now they got the urge, man.
Yeah,
they got the urge. Right, they go there, and they don't. If you and me, I could tell if I'm your buddy growing up. I'm like, I think I'm gonna get a hooker. You could be like, oh, you got to use a condom, right?
Right.
But if you're a Hasidic Jew, I can't go to anybody and ask. So it's just like, let's see what happens.
Could a Hasidic Jew?
So it's they added naive. They're naive.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, what about jobs?
Those are some of them that jerk off on subways. Those Hasidic Jews, man. It's like they're not all. Most are fucking normal, but the ones that are gross, they seem so much like, what the fuck?
And just like with every religion, because the dogma says you can't do it,
then they want to.
Makes them want to do it even more.
What about jobs? What kind of jobs do they have?
Any job.
They can do anything.
Yeah. A lot.
They all work at B&H electronics store.
Diamonds, electronics, tailoring.
They're very wealthy. It's a very wealthy group.
We do well.
Yeah.
We do well. A lot of those years and years ago, we weren't allowed to do certain jobs in America. We had to work on Saturdays. There's only a few jobs we couldn't work on Saturdays. And there's only a few jobs where we could get hired. So money lending was one of those, like, I guess we can just do this on our own.
Right.
Being a tailor, banking, shit like that. We just got into it, selling jewelry. And then we just like kept going.
Since Jews are smarter and superior in the chosen, maybe we should all convert to, maybe you guys figured it out. Maybe everyone else is wrong. I also like it because like you guys don't have a hell. We got to get into this.
We have purgatory.
This is fucking fascinating.
Yeah,
that's purgatory. 11 months.
That's the problem, and that's what I think that one of the key differences between Catholicism and Judaism is why my anxiety and guilt is through the roof. Because what I do here can place me in heaven. Like if I don't do well according to Catholicism and I don't abide by the rules, I'm going to go to hell. Whereas a Jew, it doesn't matter. You're just in the dirt. You're going to purgatory regardless.
Yeah, it's just how hot is he going to make it to wash it clean?
Got it. Yeah, because you got to get cleaned off.
Yeah.
You're a Jew. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to have a power washer.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Jew.
No, I'm
because
kidding.
I'm a human.
Give me a Wei Shanxian. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
What
Zach,
the fuck are you doing, Zach?
You want to know why he did it?
Because he's
it was
a Muslim.
He was a Jew joke, and he wanted it to stick. Yeah, he wanted it to stick.
Because he's a dirty Muslim.
He didn't read it as a joke. He thought of it more of as a true statement.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, no, true. Yeah.
That's Jerry Roca's joke that his uncle is too racist to get racist jokes.
Yeah.
At the end of every racist joke, he just goes, I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 11 months in purgatory regardless.
Regardless. So it's easier, it's hard. Honestly, it's just like I got a power washer. How hard do I have to turn it up to get this crud off?
And then what happens after those 11
I
months?
get to sit with God.
Okay.
So there's months.
Nobody's going to hell then.
No one's going to hell. Oh, there's 50 levels of good and bad. If you are at the lowest level of good or bad, highest level, so it's like picture a ladder, your main floor, 50 floors up, 50 floors down. If you go down to that 50th floor down, then you'd never go to heaven. You get chased for eternity by demon dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And they say like Hitler, they like to believe Hitler went there, but even that, it's like 50th level is hard. He might have only been like 42.
Really?
Yeah, like, you know, when people saying that chick's hot, she's a 10, and you're like, then you get kind of offended. You're like, come on, dude, you can't just throw the word 10 out. Like
Yeah.
She's an 8. But like, 8, I'm like, no, 8's still really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you walk around and you see an 8 on the street in New York,
Yeah,
you're like,
you're hot.
Jesus Christ, that girl's hot.
Yeah.
So the 47th level of hell, of negative, is like pretty fucking bad. That's a Hitler thing.
Well, I mean, if Hitler's not 50, then nobody is. He's got to be
Right,
at
it might
the
be
lowest
nobody
rung.
being there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that in the Torah or the Old Testament, or is that Torah shit?
That's like Torah. It's not Old Testament. It's like deep cuts.
So what comes together to make
Okay, the Torah is the Bible itself,
Uh-huh.
then the Talmud, which is the oral tradition, which is now written down, but it was passed along orally for a long time. It wasn't allowed to be written down, but then they were afraid it was going to be forgotten, so they wrote it in Aramaic. But like that's a Talmud or Gemara, and that's discussions of the Torah. So like, thou shalt not kill is the law, but then they got to have like getting more information. What about self-defense? You know, what about accidental? Do I get put to death for all of them? And like, no, the Talmud discusses why. Don't mix meat and milk. You know, it's like, what does that mean? So then the Talmud discusses how. What happens if I kill you and your wife's a widow? How much money do I owe her? That's all Talmud stuff. And then the subsects of the Talmud, and then there's weird, like, mystical ones too that people don't really study. That's Kabbalah, which is like, it's just out there shit.
Is that what the lights like when you Friday you can't put on the lights until Sunday, right?
Okay, yeah. You want to know why?
Or what is Saturday night?
Yeah.
Because usually on Saturday nights I would always see, you know, if you were driving through that part of Brooklyn, you would just see, you know, a bunch of Jews running towards a bowling alley or something like that on Saturday night.
On Saturday night.
Yeah, because they could do some activity with lights on.
We used to go to Blockbuster and get videos. You see all the same Jews with like khaki pants and button-down blue shirts, like all looking for videos.
So what's behind that? Why can't you turn the lights on?
It comes from. I mean, I know more about this than probably any comedian. Maybe Elon or
Modi?
Bobby Lieberman.
Yeah,
maybe Modi too.
Yeah,
but you can't work on the Sabbath.
Okay,
and instead of just saying don't work, they also list specific jobs you can't do. So even if it's not your job is comedian, but you also can't write because scribe was one of the 7 or 8 jobs.
I see.
So no touching a pen or pencil, not even touching one, because it's like being a scribe. Another job was fire starter. And so electricity, the only reason it's not allowed is because there's a spark in like a light bulb, and that spark is like fire.
Do the Jews have crafty ways of getting around that? You guys are good craftsmen. Yeah,
absolutely. Jews love loopholes.
Yeah.
See, you fucking learn a lot of shit just by watching them. You're not
absolutely.
Bad. Jews love loopholes. That's why we're good lawyers.
Yeah.
So, what about like timers? So I'm not the one putting. On Friday daytime before it even started, I set this to like go. Like if you have a candle and it burns all the way down, it goes out on Saturday morning. You didn't do it. It went out on its own. Candle, timer.
I like it.
Goes out on its own.
Who were the first Jews? Who started it?
Oh, they have another one for like high level, like ambassadors and stuff. They have a phone that answers itself. So like every like 10 seconds, it kind of picks up and then drops off.
Wow.
Picks up. So if it's picked up, well, you can then pick it up and then it won't drop off. Because that's on its own. They have Shabbos elevators for the Hasidic Jews that it just goes to every floor on Friday night. So you don't touch it. It's just going already. So you haven't done anything one way or the other.
Wow.
Yeah.
Loopholes.
Yeah.
Loopholes.
And what if I was I just said to everyone I was a Hasidic Jew and I just turned around and said, hey guys, this is fucking stupid. Would I be done?
Yeah.
I was like, why didn't I just press that button? It doesn't really fucking matter.
Culturally, yeah. I wanted to do it for a hidden prank show. I wanted to dress up and go to like a real Orthodox Hasidic synagogue, sit there with them all day for 4 hours on Shabbos, you know, and then everybody's out, and then in the front, you know, you see them all congregating outside the synagogue, you know, where they're like done and they're saying hi, talking, and then just have just a big black hooker walk by and just start making out with her in front of everybody. Just go for it, but like sit with them so they think I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Is it fun? You think like do the Hasidics, are they having fun and the Orthodox Jews?
They are. When they celebrate something, a Shabbos or a Rosh Hashanah,
they get hammered and all that.
Oh yeah, Purim they get hammered. They get hammered for weddings. They celebrate.
Yeah,
but in their own way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the kids, they have good lives. Like it's good. Like it's not like culty and weird. Nothing crazy's happening.
Yeah, the kids have fun. We watch sports and
so like a Hasidic Jewish kid would like watch the Knicks.
yeah, for sure.
Got it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But they just wouldn't curse when they're like, "What the fuck was that?"
Right.
Like,
Who were the back to that question? Who started it? Like, how did that religion get founded? Who's the first one?
it was God.
God.
I don't know if you know.
Adam was the first Jew?
No, Adam was not.
He was not a
predated
Jew.
Jews. Adam was the first human.
Uh-huh.
Moses. I'm trying to think when the Jews started. So the laws all start with Moses.
Right.
Moses went up, got the 10 Commandments, and with it, the whole rest of the Torah.
And that's Christians believe that.
Yeah,
Christians believe
10
that.
Commandments. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Abraham, Isaac, Abraham was, I guess, the first Jew because
There we
God
go.
said, "I'm going to make a great nation out of your seed,
Right.
and their numbers will be like the sands of the ocean and the stars in the heavens."
Abraham.
Ibrahim,
He was the first Jew.
yeah, and they have Ibrahim.
Mhm.
And that was Israel, right? Is that what it's?
That was all in Israel, yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like we didn't need this borders, but it was like that's going to be your land.
Right.
So him, Isaac, Jacob, and then it just spread out from there.
Yeah.
It really spread.
I took a few classes of Krav Maga, which is Israeli Jew street fighting.
Yeah,
And it was
non-stop punching,
nonstop.
never stop punching.
And it's all about, and I like it because, they're surrounded by their enemies all over. It's not about like, it's an art, but it's not about like submission hold. It's like gouge in the eyes, pull your nuts out. I'm destabilizing you. You're debilitated. I'm going to fucking ruin your life.
So my dad served in the Israeli army in 56. So 48 it started. 56, it was like, they were trying to find weapons, you know what I mean? Like guns so that everyone could have a gun. So they had to get donations for guns and like intercept arms. Otherwise they had no army. It wasn't like, how much money should we put to defense? It wasn't like that. It was like, we just don't have access or money for it. So it's like, get what you can. So they had to train them to like, it's going to be a real possibility. They're going to be out there alone, separated from your troop, with no gun, no weapons, maybe a knife, maybe not. And you're going to come across two Arabs, who are also trying to kill you. Maybe they don't have, if they have a gun, you're dead,
Right.
So my dad, what they taught him was you got two Arabs and you got you. And so you're both coming together, Adam. You look at one and then you like get ready and you kick the other one in the balls as hard as you can. Just unload, lift him off the ground with your fucking kick. And then he's debilitated. Kill the first one. And then get back to the second one that you kicked.
Kill him. And that's Krav Maga.
Yeah, it's a lot of
the
that.
beginning of Chris.
Well, and also,
the founding of it.
Yeah. But as I know
He said
that
any one-on-one you can kill any Arab.
It's basically a martial arts that started for just kill Arabs by any means necessary.
well, like you're like a Jewish guy. You're like a Jewish guy born and raised here in America.
Yeah.
But could you join the Israeli army if you wanted to?
For sure.
They want that. I know you get to go there on a free trip.
Oh no, but if you move there, you can't not go to the army. Unless you move after 35, then they're like, all right, we don't want you anymore.
So if this was Israel, we would all have done time in the army.
Yeah.
You have to.
And if you don't, if you're like, I have flat feet and get out of it, it's embarrassing. You got to hide that fact. People will look down on you.
Really?
Women
If
too,
you're like,
everybody.
If you did, women, they're like, there's clerical work, there's shit you got to do. It's 3 years. Or
But you're away from your family. Like 3 years, you're gone.
No, because it's such a small country. You can get anywhere in 10 hours.
Okay.
With bus. Anywhere from like the very bottom to the very top.
Right.
So like, you go home every couple of weeks. You have leave, and they all carry their weapons.
It's like going away to college.
I've been Haifa. I've been to Tel Aviv, Jerusalem.
Do you see those army people with guns on them?
all over
they
the
take
place.
the magazines out, but they're just there.
When did you go there, Hyenas?
Well, my cousin is married to David Ben Gurion's grandson.
Whoa.
Yeah, the last. So he's the last one to carry the name.
Jimmy Ben Gurion?
No, Alon Ben Gurion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's my cousin-in-law.
So you would go there for like.
When you fly in, you fly into Ben Gurion Airport. My cousin's grandfather is like the George Washington of fucking.
Is it a beautiful
Israel.
country?
It's beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
Man. It's gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
And beautiful women too, right?
A lot of history there. You got the
Sick, right?
Yeah, Masada. A lot of good history, like
Roman history.
Roman
Jewish
history.
Will a Jewish woman like Israeli
She'll
woman?
bang you out.
Yeah, well, could I hook up or
Oh yeah,
very unlikely?
No, you get a lot because most Jews in Israel are not religious Jews.
Secular. It's a
Got
secular
it.
country.
Yeah,
So
And that's why they're our ally. Build a wall.
Yeah,
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
they're
because
like we have a lot of walls.
Yeah.
because
just
like
kidding.
in the American media they'll make it seem like it's not safe. You're going to get blown up. None of that is true. It's as safe. It's all likely to happen here as it is there. Kind
I
of
was
thing.
telling somebody this just now with this other interview I just did. So I got back from like Southeast Asia. I went to Timor-Leste, East Timor. And Joe Rogan was like, "Is it safe?" I'm like, "Well, you tell me." He was like, "All right, give me the stats." I go, "Last year there were 562, not deaths, 562 murders, 562." And Joe was like, "Jesus, that's a lot." I'm like, "Oh no, I'm sorry, I fucked up. That's Chicago."
Yeah,
And he goes, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "No, but that same thing you just had for like, oh, it's so dangerous, I never go there. You should put that in Chicago now."
Yeah.
yeah.
But he won't because you don't think of it that
It's
way.
in America. Yeah.
There's stuff and it gets in the news for sure. But just like terrorism here, if you were a foreigner visiting America, if you were a Vietnamese person visiting America for a month, then you went back to Vietnam and people will like ask you about it. You know, your Vietnamese friends asked you like, "How was it? Was terrorism like a huge thing and school shootings? Was that like a big thing everyone was talking about?" And they'd be like, "Actually, no. Mostly what they were talking about was men and females,
Yeah.
like the male-female relationships at work and stuff."
Yeah.
Like, what? Not the terrorism and the school shootings? Like,
Yeah.
I would have thought so too. But it's
Yeah.
like nobody even gives a shit about that.
Right.
They only care about the. So when you go there, it's not an everyday thing with the terrorism.
It's like
It's always in the back of their heads, but like, nah.
Well, they've taken a lot of precautions too to limit it.
Yeah, you
Effective
You
precautions.
cannot leave your bag out.
Yeah.
not over
Chef's
there.
not sure.
Yeah.
Suspicious package.
Yeah.
If you see it out, like, package, whose is it? Move. Everyone move away from it right
Yeah.
now. And they get the bomb squad in. You can't leave your shit. My friends did that once. He was in the settlement, was waiting for his friend to come out to like go get the bus into Tel Aviv or something like that. And couldn't come. And then he was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" They were playing video games. And then he got locked up and they started playing for an hour. And they went outside and there was a whole cordoned off thing around his bag.
Wow.
And they were sending the robot in to blow it up.
Wow.
They do things, and that's why the Israelis have gotten so good at security consulting.
Mm-hmm.
Just necessity is the mother of invention. They
Necessity
live,
is the mother of
So they
invention.
just have become really good at it, and they do a lot of airport consulting and
Oh,
et cetera.
yeah.
They don't go. They're not very PC with it. They're just very practical.
Yeah, you can actually get through security pretty fast, but they're not TSA here. You saw the stats with it, 95% of fake bombs get right through when
Yeah.
they're testers. Like they don't really catch anything.
This is how the Israelis do it.
Ain't nothing getting through.
They go, Giannis Pappas going through. They'll do a quick search. Sounds like a Greek name. Let's put him through. Mahadad's going through. Yeah, you're getting pulled over.
Yeah,
It's
and
just
not-
it's just
not
the
a
truth.
question. They're like,
Yeah.
no, well, that's where it comes from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just do it that way.
But they don't let you through with nothing. They still
Right.
ask you the question. They make
Right.
you go through the fucking X-ray thing.
Due diligence, but you know the Arabs getting pulled over.
Mhm.
So what made you walk away from it?
I didn't believe in God. I finally looked inwards and it
Okay.
just wasn't there.
Yeah.
And then it was distressing for a long time. And then I was like, I'm out.
Mm.
I'm out. I'm done. I got Taco
When
Bell.
did you come out?
23 years old.
So your whole family is Orthodox.
No, not 23. I lost my virginity at 23. 21. Whole family's Orthodox.
Whole family's Orthodox.
Yeah.
So and you
My brother's out now too.
wow.
He still does some stuff.
Does your family are they fine with it though? You being
No,
out?
it took a while,
Yeah.
but now it's like whatever. They got grandkids. They got 9 religious grandkids.
That would be like I guess for you, like if you came out while your dad's still alive as trans.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how
Can't happen.
your family feels like they have a trans kid. Kind
Trans. What a giant. Which one's worse if you're a parent? Trans kid or gay kid?
Trans.
of trans.
Gay kid, gay trans because I think
Neither
I
one
was
of them's
internet-
bad.
I was talking about this the other day. I think somebody asked me, do you want your kid to be gay? And it's like, do I want? No.
No.
If they are, fine.
Yeah.
Same thing with trans. Do I want them? No, of course not. I don't want that. But if it happens, I will be fully supportive because I think as a parent, all I want is my
Healthy.
child to have the path of least resistance through her life.
Yeah, they say.
So I
gay is
realize that
painful.
being trans is going to make her a target for things, and I don't want it.
Yeah.
But I'll support it and be her ally through anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't want my kid to be gay for that reason, but also another reason is because I want my kid being into the same kind of shit that I was into. For
Yeah.
the same reason, I don't want my kid playing fucking soccer. You play
Right.
basketball,
Right.
you know, so I
Yeah.
can be into this.
You do Jew
I
shit.
don't know the fucking
Yeah.
rules of plays of soccer. So it's like, obviously, it's like, I'd be okay with it. But no, if I'd rather, or you can play soccer or basketball, play basketball.
I respect
please.
that.
Yeah.
But it's illogical to me. But somebody in today's world would say that you're fucking anti-soccer and you're a piece of shit.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what else questions do you have about Jews? I mean, we're a very tight community.
Yeah.
Very tight community.
We've noticed that one.
Yeah.
What are questions do I have about Jews? The yarmulke, what is it? What's the point of a yarmulke?
That's not a law. That's a cultural thing. It's to signify something's above you. God's above you.
So it's like a humility thing.
Yeah,
Like,
but then you'll see them take it off when they go to like baseball games. You won't see them take it off. You just
because
won't
the
notice
fucking anthem's playing, take it off. Have respect for the troops.
Support the troops.
it. Yeah.
It's
Right?
convenient for bald spots.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
a
it is
yami.
convenient, but it covers it up.
Yeah, I
That's the only
noticed
way we
Soda
can
was
get
starting to get a ring yesterday. I said, if he could just throw a yami on there and go Jew while he's out in public,
Soda?
he'll be all right.
laid. Yeah. I mean, that's the only way you get laid. People are
He's
like,
trying to get a little thin up there.
Yeah.
yeah, but everywhere else it looks totally thick. So it's like,
Yeah.
just cover it up. You don't even know.
Yeah.
Cover a bald patch on your fucking lawn by parking a car on there.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fascinated. I've always
We play basketball with it. We keep women's hair clips is how we keep them on.
right. Well, Yeshiva University. We used to play Yeshiva University.
Did you really?
Yeah. Well, the women.
I went there
The
for a
women
year.
played in skirts.
Yeah.
So, but some of them were
Skirts
really
with
good.
sweatpants underneath the skirt.
Yeah, and some of them were so they couldn't dribble the ball between their legs. So that was like you could prevent certain things, like you can't hit
Oh,
the ball.
yeah.
So that was good. But the men, when we played the men, some of them were from Israel. These guys were fucking jacked.
Yeah.
They were such great athletes.
They had
Like
some dunkers, for
we
sure.
lost to Yeshiva one year, and
What
it was
school
big.
did you go to?
St. Joseph's College.
So
it was
you
all
were
Division III.
So you were in the Yeshiva University league. I played golf for Yeshiva University.
Yeah. Well, they came to us. I don't know that we. Oh no, we played them on neutral sites.
Oh.
No, but you were in the division, is what he said.
Yes, I
yeah,
was in the
they were in
division.
the Division 3. Yeah.
Yeah, they were Division III. Yeah, and they were one year they had a very good team because they had a player who was at Yeshiva University. I'm forgetting his name. He was at Yeshiva University, devout Jew, but was getting recruited by I think Division I or High Division II teams.
Really?
At Yeshiva, fucking kicked the shit out of. We lost
I
bad.
remember that kid.
He was
they
awesome.
They called him the Jewish Jordan.
No, it wasn't that
that's
kid.
somebody
It
else.
wasn't
Yeah.
that kid. That kid was going to play
That's-
for University of Maryland.
Yeah.
This kid,
Switched to Townsend. Didn't even start at the end. He was overhyped.
yeah,
he was overhyped.
He was so good, but then he went on. He went to Israel, and I believe played in the Israeli Professional League, which is, I mean, Maccabi Tel Aviv,
Maccabi Tel
beat
Aviv,
the Toronto
dominant.
Raptors.
No, they did not.
Yeah, like 10 years ago, they beat the Toronto Raptors in a scrimmage game.
It's a good league. Israeli league.
Bullshit. That wasn't a full squad then for the Raptors. No fucking way.
No, they did. I mean, we could Google it, but they did. It was like a historic
Really?
thing.
ISIS, can you check that out?
ISIS, do you know how to
Maccabee-
use computers for good, not for
Yeah.
cells?
Do you know how to?
Yeah.
Do you know how to? Can it look up anything positive for Jews?
Close the Close the screen you currently have open that says all Jews die and Google.
Yeah,
Get to work.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, man. Fucking Jews.
Yeah, we're weird. We're a tight knit community.
Well, you're not, but you're an atheist. So what do they look at? How do they look at you now? You're a traitor.
It's weird, sort of. The Hasidic Jews look at me as a traitor.
Yeah.
The Orthodox ones do too. My friends are always not traitor, but it's like trying to get me back.
Right.
So if it was a traitor, they're like, "Fuck you forever."
They just feel like you've fallen out of.
Yeah,
fallen
but they're
out.
like, "Hey, can we learn a little about Talmud? Can we learn some more?" They want me back in.
Yeah.
If it was a traitor, they'd be like, "Fuck you forever."
Right.
This isn't
Right.
like that. They're like, "Damn, he's swayed. Let's get him. Let's get him okay."
So you look at
It's
all.
more like they look at me more like you guys would look at me if I became homeless.
Right.
We're like, we got to help Ari
Right,
get him
right.
back to homeful.
Right.
Right.
You know,
Do you now?
Right.
Do you look at them like because you're an atheist?
wasting their lives.
You're like, you guys are wrong. You
Absolutely.
guys, there's no God
Absolutely.
and you're wrong. Yeah.
For a while, I was angry at them. I was like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck are you doing there?" Trying to be real combative.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, who gives a shit? Just do your stupid
Well,
thing.
it's
Yeah.
it's to a point. Like my cousin, she's a firefighter now, but she was an EMT, and she showed up one day to this car accident. She was a first responder, and it was a Orthodox or Hasidic Jewish woman, 6-7 months pregnant, bleeding out from her legs, and she said, "Let me get you on the stretcher," like whatever. And she said, "Nope, I'm waiting for my ambulance." And my cousin was like, "We need to get your baby is losing oxygen." It's a woman, so it's a woman. It's not a man. No, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Their ambulance comes. She said, what, 4 or 5 minutes later, baby died.
Oh,
So, and she's like, we could have saved that baby. We really could have saved that. My
that's a
cousin.
weird one to wait for my ambulance. That's just bad education for her.
Well, that was my question. Is like, would somebody else? That's not that. most Jews won't do that. Even the Hasidic Jews would be like, if it's life or death, you can get help from anybody.
No,
anybody can touch
absolutely.
you.
What they would do, absolutely, life and death. You can touch anybody. You can kill for life and death. Like if someone's coming in to shoot, I'm allowed to shoot that guy.
Yeah.
Normally you can't kill.
So
anybody.
if Hasidic, I know like you're not allowed to touch. Like I can't just touch a Hasidic Jewish woman. That'd be against the rules.
Right.
But if the house is on fire, I can
or
pull
if
her
she's
out.
off a cliff falling and
I can grab her.
She would be like, yeah, for sure. Here's
Got
my
it.
hand.
Got it.
And it wouldn't just because she's being a pussy about it. It'd be because like, no, you're allowed.
Okay.
So
this woman was just poorly educated.
But you know how the Crown Heights riot started. Do you know
I
the
lived
Crown
through
Heights
it.
riots?
How did it happen? Didn't
lived
somebody
10 minutes from
accidentally
there.
hit?
Wow.
They hit a child
Yes.
with their car.
It wasn't Jews who did it. It was somebody hit these two kids.
Yeah.
Black kids or Jewish kids?
One black kid, one Jewish kid.
Okay.
Called the ambulance. And you're familiar with
9/11. He didn't jerk off on that day out of respect for the country.
I didn't jerk off until Bush said we're sending in troops to Iraq.
And then you're like, okay. let's
Afghanistan, I meant to say. A lot of people did that. We felt like in solidarity, like we felt it was wrong to touch ourselves while the towers were going down.
go. Wow. I said that wrong. I did not mean 9/11. I meant 911 is a joke by Public Enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you look back on this shit now, by the way, when you're like, fuck the police and shit like that, I always thought it was just funny, but now I'm like, oh, they really weren't great to black people.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm starting to see why these songs came.
Well, we were saying about like everything's all the rage about Ted Bundy. Now, like,
if he was a black kid,
but it's like
they
if he was
would've caught
black,
him
he would have been in
Utah.
jail. We'd
Yeah.
never killed anybody else. It was because he was
He would
white
have made it
and
to
Turok.
Florida.
And look, we're like fucking white guys, so some of the things were like, oh, this is bullshit. But that was like,
You got it.
Yeah.
So anyway, 911's a joke. Didn't get in there in time. And the Jewish ambulance service that we paid extra for to make sure Jews were covered and travel around this little small ambulance service in the super Jewish parts of town. Like we're just like, we'll call them ourselves. But again, if another one gets there, it gets there. But this Jewish ambulance service got there first. Black kid, I think a little black girl, and a Jewish kid.
Both bleeding out in the middle of the street.
Both, yeah. And they picked up the Jewish kid and left the black kid.
And the black kid died.
Black kid died.
Yeah.
The Jewish kid survived.
Yeah. And they went fucking apeshit. And the Jews, in defense, I guess their defense is like, look, this has nothing to do with the black kid. You're still just waiting. If we didn't do this service, they'd both be dead. Why shouldn't we save one? And they were like, yeah, save the other one too.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, okay, looking back maybe. But they just were like, no, we only.
And then in the Crown Heights riots, how many people got killed? More people got killed, right?
It was wild. I lived 10 minutes from there. I mean, it's
really?
adjacent to Park Slope. Yeah. So
How old are you?
43.
Oh, so I'm 44. So I remember being a young kid, and you were too.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was right there. That was during
What year was it?
That was the Dinkins era. So it was
Late 80s?
Early 90s. Early
was too
90s. Yeah. 90, maybe
Maybe
90.
right around 98, 88, 89,
Yeah,
98.
91.
91.
Is there a good Crown Heights riots documentary?
There's got to be. I mean, it was a big thing, man. I mean, it was it was a big thing. I don't know. Did anyone else die in that, or was just like there was violence? But
There was 2 deaths.
2 deaths. So it wasn't.
Hasidic
like,
Jews died, or did blacks die?
It doesn't say. I can.
We'll do an episode on. We did the L.A. riots. A lot of people died in that. Remember, it was like 60-something. So there's only 2 deaths.
I
But
remember big in Israel while the LA riots were going on, and they were like, "What is this? A city of angels, huh?" In their accent, like, this is not so angelic. I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't live in LA.
did you ever live in a kibbutz?
So one of them was
2 months into
a
the area.
Jew that was killed by a group of about 20 young black men.
Can you say Jew with
3
less
hours.
fucking animus in your voice?
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ,
Fucking
dude.
Jew.
Oh my
A Jew.
God.
Around 3 hours after the riots began.
Okay.
20 black guys beat up a Jewish kid.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then there was another related shooting murder 2 weeks after the riots had been controlled.
Well, here's the thing about Crown Heights. We used to go there. That's where we got our weed. One side back then was all black, and then the other side of Eastern Parkway was all Hasidic. So they both lived there, but it was separate. Like
Segregated.
it was segregated. So it was like they had this thing where they kind of just were there.
On either side of Eastern
either
Parkway,
side,
right?
And then this was just a powder keg. It happened, and boom, it just exploded.
That may happen in Bay Ridge because one side is the Muslims and the other side is the Italians.
No.
It could happen.
I think those days
so?
are over.
Yeah, it's probably over.
I think
No,
those days
all it
are
needs
over.
is one thing to set it off. And those Muslims, they get emotional.
Yeah, they do.
So how you lived in a kibbutz for 2 months?
2 months in Tveria.
Now that you guys,
Tiberias.
What's a kibbutz?
they're socialists.
A utopian society.
Yeah.
Everyone chips in however you can. We all get free food, free board. So like,
Does it work, utopian society, do you think, or it can't?
yeah,
A few people it works. Yeah.
And small. I've heard this about cities though. The problem while we're all at each other's throats is you're not supposed to be over 100 people in your village or something like that. Whatever the number is, it's small. Maybe if it's a few hundred, and then after that, you stop knowing everyone. so it doesn't work as a city. So you're like, get away from me, don't touch me, don't talk to me.
Right.
And New York obviously is so massive that it's like you can't talk to a stranger
Right.
here. So everyone chipped in. So you got to like somebody takes care of the kids, works in the kindergarten. Someone else fucking handles the turkey farm. And
What was
someone
your
else-
job?
I picked avocados for a while. I worked in the kitchen washing dishes for a while
This is in Israel.
in Israel. Yeah. But mostly I was a punk kid. I was just like claim sickness and try to get out of work.
Right.
That's why he
Um,
became a comic. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is when you already left the Orthodox community,
No, this
right?
is when I was still in.
Okay.
This is when I was still in. That was right before I went to yeshiva, actually. So I
Right.
6 months. My high school goes there for 6 months for the last semester of senior year.
Now,
Right.
Chris is German, so he just said that he didn't want to
The
say it.
Stefano is German.
Yeah, he's mostly German.
Mostly my I have the Italian last name, but when I did the Ancestry.com, I found that I'm like 70% German.
and he comes from a
Damn.
German neighborhood. I mean,
Ridgewood's a
Ridgewood's
German neighborhood.
Whoa.
Old
mostly
school
German.
German neighborhood. Yeah.
So he's
Yeah. So we want to clean, we want to just clean the
things
place up
yeah.
sometimes.
My mother always told me, because my mother was in Crete when the Nazis attacked. She said Germans just can't. My mother's law educated for law. She says Germans just have it in them. She said they just like there's a thing in them when they want to just clean up. They want to erase people. It's a German thing.
Clean up.
They just want to clean up. They want to take the broom out and just get rid of all
Just
Romani
cleanness.
people.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Chris said for you, he wanted to give you thanks because you sterilized yourself, and so that makes less Jews, and he thinks you did a service for the
Yeah.
Reich.
Me, myself.
Yeah.
'cause
Oh,
you have the
yeah,
vasectomy.
you're right.
Yeah, you really
So
did a
we
favor for the Reich.
We
yeah.
appreciate that.
That was one of the original plans of the Reich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like,
That's
let's
what
just sterilize them.
Yeah,
And
that's what I'm
someone's like,
saying.
that's going to take too long to get rid of them.
Let's-
Let's get rid of them.
Yeah.
That was a real plan. Like if we just sterilize.
Yeah, that was my
every
idea.
woman.
Yeah.
You would have been first in line and been like, hey, I just want to fuck you
I'm
free.
good. Yeah, sure.
I don't want any kids anyway.
Oh, those Jews, the STDs would have spread rampant if they were all like sterilized. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? No reason not to use. I heard STDs go crazy in old age homes.
Yes,
Oh,
they
yeah.
do.
They
They're not
do.
afraid at all of pregnancy.
Why
No.
would you be? Yeah.
So then it's like, I'm not using a
rampant.
78.
You seem really at peace with that decision, though. You don't want kids.
No, it took me, I was years in my mind. I'm like, I want to get a vasectomy. And then finally, like, did because I was like, what am I waiting for? It's been years and my opinion has not changed. I have no interest in kids. You guys want them?
My buddy
But you
Chet.
have 'em.
I have a kid, yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
I respect people who don't want children.
Yeah, my buddy
no
Chet
problem.
has two, and
Absolutely.
he got a vasectomy too.
Yeah, Renner,
It's
you
your
got a vasectomy
choice.
after 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I feel like it's. I don't. Whatever you want to do.
You still
I
bust
love my
nuts?
kid.
Yeah, still bust nuts. It's
Is
just
it
kinda
white or clear?
Same shit. It
Same
looks
white.
It's
exactly
just.
the
It's just
same.
you got no swimmers.
No swimmers in there.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a chicken egg. If there's no rooster, the chicken egg looks exactly the same as if there is a rooster.
Got it.
Right.
But then, like sometimes they'll sit on it and it'll eventually become a chicken.
Right.
If
Right.
there's a rooster.
Right.
Wow.
So do you feel like when you were single, like because you couldn't get anybody pregnant, you would be less inclined to use condoms, or are you still scared of disease?
I wouldn't use condoms all the time. I took so many chances.
And you never got anything. You never got the clap. You never got
I
herpes.
got chlamydia.
Yeah, I got chlamydia too.
Yeah, for sure.
But you and warts. Everybody has
And warts,
warts.
yeah.
But you never got herp.
No, I never got
That's
the
good.
itch.
That's the only one.
Now, what if you die and you just open your eyes?
Yeah, I'm
And
listening.
you're on the third ring of purgatory. Are you gonna go? Fuck! I had it wrong.
No, I've already done this math in my head.
Yeah.
I would tell God, I'm like, hey man, I didn't believe.
Wait, so God would be there with his yarmulke, but Ari, welcome. You really, you disappointed us. There's a lot of us that were pulling for you the first half of the life. You were on the kibbutz, you did good, and then you started doing the comedy.
I understand what you're saying, but you didn't put belief in God in me. You didn't believe. You didn't put it in
Ari,
me.
it was everywhere. Our people are chosen. We get.
Then why didn't I believe God? I didn't believe that you didn't put that in me. If you put it in me, I would have done it. If you just said in the heavens, "Oh, the Jews are chosen people." If I saw that when I left every
But
morning,
then that
I
takes
would
away
do-
the faith, Ari.
Well, so
Ari,
I
there's
didn't
no
have the
faith.
faith.
You're supposed to have faith. I can't just tell
But
you.
you
things.
didn't give me the faith to have.
What really happened, Ari, is you started hanging out with the Schwartzes, and then it went downhill. You shouldn't have hung out with the Schwartzes.
Schwartz is one of my favorite derogatory words. Schwartzes.
Because Schwarzenegger, that's a rough name.
Schwartz.
Arnold Schwarzenegger has two slurs in it.
Yeah. The Schwartzes.
Look, he's texting
Watch
too.
it. No,
You're texting it too.
Watch
You're
it.
not
I wasn't
even
texting
involved.
it too. I wasn't texting it too. I was looking up
What's
for our
the toot?
Patreon members.
A
It's like
prostitute.
a prostitute.
Yeah.
To circle back real quick, Maccabi Tel Aviv did beat the Raptors
See?
105 to 103
Told you.
in 2005.
What was their squad? The Raptors.
It was
The
just
full
whatever,
squad?
full squad from 2005.
Wait, you're inferring. You didn't realize. You didn't
No,
research it was
it's
a full squad.
whatever their team was in 2005. That's who was there.
I told
and
you.
The Maccabi Tel Aviv won within the last 0.8 seconds. They made it.
Yeah, they're legit.
What?
Wow, that's crazy.
Jews can
hard as
play.
Raptors?
Jews are fucking good.
Yeah.
You know, they're not
We
all.
play basketball. We play baseball. Soccer,
well,
sort of.
Sandy Koufax.
I mean,
one of the
Edelman
great-
just won MVP.
Yeah,
Dude,
but he's
you'd
like a
think I'd-
10th Jewish.
Nah,
it
fully
counts.
Jewish.
Yeah, fully. They claim.
Jewish. I'm
Yeah,
taking him.
Greeks do the same thing.
Taking him. We're trading Alex Edelman for him.
Yeah.
You take the Greek freak.
Good trade.
Yeah.
You traded up there.
Yeah.
So wait, you said you did the math. So you show up and you're in hell.
I was like, I didn't believe. I would have
Yeah.
loved to have believed, but I didn't. So now I know. I'll fucking do it now.
So that you got to just
It's
work.
like it's too late. It's like, no, you if you're just God
Yeah.
and you know I didn't believe, then that's on you, man.
Right. You didn't do a good
Give me the
enough.
belief.
Right.
You give me fingers.
Right.
Give me the
Right.
belief.
Right.
But doesn't that go against belief? Belief's supposed to be your submission to him.
Yeah, but here's the
blind
weird
faith.
thing.
Catholics
Yeah,
have blind faith.
But the blind faith doesn't make any sense because I had this Protestant friends in college, and they're like, "You need to accept Jesus to go to heaven." And I finally got out of them. If I don't, I go to hell. But I'm like, "Do you think that's fair? Do you think God is fair?" They go, "Yes, God's for sure fair." I'm like, "Okay, but you had two Protestant parents telling you Protestant is the way, and I had two Jewish parents telling me Protestant is completely wrong. So you are way more likely
Right.
to accept Jesus than I will, and that's not fair.
Right.
So if you believe in a fair God, Native Americans didn't get God, didn't get Jesus,
And there's a ju- and
they
just-
all go to burn in hell forever.
You- and-
Out-Jewed your Jew. You're so smart as a Jew,
Yeah.
you got rid of the Jew.
And then-
I think he'll be fine with it.
And then what about? And then it's like, does God just apply to humans? Because like we see in nature, fucking lions pull zebras out of mothers' wombs and crack their heads in front of them. Well, where's God
Yeah.
there? Is
Yeah,
that
is there a God
what about that? Is there a
regulating
zebra
that world?
God, a lion God?
Yeah.
yeah, I think
Because that's horrifying.
that's pretty.
So what do you think it is? What do you think it is? You think we're just a random creation that
Cells,
sprung
man.
from a microbe
Uh-huh.
in the water
Yeah.
and it's just
No-
chaos?
No different than
Are
a
we
fucking
simulation?
cauliflower. I don't think simulation, but I don't really know any of that shit. But I think it's just like we're just a chance.
Yeah. It
Just
just
chance.
it was but how was for it to become a chance there needed to be the possibility, the potential for that chance, which is wild to think.
Yeah, I think electricity. I don't know how how scientists do it. That's the thing. My religious friends always try to like outthink me into going back. Like,
Yeah.
well, how do you explain humanity then if there's no God? And I was like, okay, well, I can't. I'm like, see, I'm like, no, but me not being able to explain something doesn't mean it's God.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how the telephone works,
Right.
Right.
but it's not God.
Right.
Right.
I just have no clue. You can ask me all day, and I'm
Yeah. How do I send a
won't
text message to China so quick?
be- Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But they'd be like, see, God. I'm like, no, it's
No.
not God.
Are you
Yeah.
much happier now that you're out of it?
So much happy, but also I have stand up. I have a passion, you know.
Right.
Oh,
You have
but
money?
Yeah, there's so much extra shit.
Let's be
going
honest.
in
You're
here.
making real money
Let's
right
be
now.
honest.
Ari. Let's
Money.
just
You're doing
let's just
pretty
be
good.
fucking honest.
Let's put that card to the table.
You're selling tickets,
Selling
cause
tickets.
you know if you weren't selling tickets, you might be right back to the fucking kibbutz. You might be back to the utopian society, but you're fucking moving tickets, cause let's call a spade a spade.
I had a rabbi tell me like he was like, do you have to work on the Sabbath? I'm like, yeah, Friday night. It's like a big day for
Yeah.
stand up. He goes, can you do it in a shinoi, a strangeness? If you have to do something wrong, you do it in a strangeness.
What does that mean?
So like, let's say I had to eat non-kosher.
Okay.
Don't use a fork. If I have to, because I'm in a country where there's no kosher food, it's
Got it.
just monkey meat, and that's
Yeah.
it.
You
And
just
there's-
use your hands then.
Just just use my hands.
Okay.
Just do something where it's strange, so I'm not like being like normalized about it. So he goes, "Can you hold the microphone with like your elbows or something?" And I'm like, "Rabbi, no, I can't. I really can't do
That's
that."
where you tapped out. Yeah.
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 And he's like, "Do you have to use lights on the Sabbath?" I'm like, "Well, my job as a covered booth person at the Comedy Store was to turn the light on, like give people the light.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes, I do have
Quite
to use
literally.
lights. Yeah.
And this is when you were 23 years old.
This is at this point I was 25. Yeah.
Wow.
And then he was like, "Can you do that with the elbow?" I'm like, "All right." I did for a while. I'm like, "I'll turn the light on." Because it's like a twister thing. So I'm like, "I'll turn
Yeah.
it on with my elbow."
Yeah.
Now you have you're doing very well. You're very successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys like
Doing great.
you're like your own network. Like
I'm my
you-
own thing.
like it's amazing.
It's
So I
great.
got in a fight with a comic recently, and he was like, "You should just be nice to people, just because you don't know who's going to give you jobs."
You don't, yeah. You
and I
don't
was
need
like,
to.
"Oh yeah, I come from a different generation."
You're the giver of jobs.
I make my own work.
You're the
so
giver
I just
of
don't
jobs.
think of it like
It's
that.
great. It's the best, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll be
Yeah.
nice to people if I feel I should be nice to them.
Yeah, but what I'm
Not-
saying is,
Yeah.
you don't come across you're a very humble kind of normal guy.
Yeah.
Does that come from your religious background a little bit, or does that come from you making it in your 70s? Like, hopefully I do, or else I'm done.
Yeah.
I think it's more because I struggled for so long.
Yeah,
Because I was like an employee at the Comedy Store for so long and fucking poor. So now that I have money, I'm like, I know what it's like to be poor. I'm not
Yeah.
going to ignore that. You know who's the worst with that?
Mm.
People who like get rich when they're like 22.
yeah.
yeah.
You know, and they're like,
Just
"Why
say
don't
what
you
it is,
have more
Pete
money?"
Davidson.
Yeah, shit like that. Child stars in general,
Yeah.
like they have no idea.
Yeah,
My friend said they went to the Oscars or Golden Globes. They got like a ticket, and the valet was there, and it's one of those like American Pie ladies. Somebody pulled up, and she goes, "Oh, who brought a Honda?" Like looking so far down on it, and it's like it's a fucking car. Shut the fuck up. It's functional.
Yeah.
Did you unfollow Fuck Jerry?
I never followed Fuck Jerry in the first place. But
That's
yeah,
like the new thing.
Comedy Central fired them, right?
I don't know.
I just want to know what the
I just
rules
know that
are.
I'm getting emails and DMs from people. Hey, you still follow Fuck Jerry? Why are you following them?
Yeah, every comic is saying like
Because it's just a fat Jew. Same
Yeah,
shit.
same
just
shit.
Yeah.
stealing people's stuff and not giving them credit.
But I'm saying, what are the rules though? Because those people, those aggregators of online content, now they credit people when they post stuff.
That's the rule.
So
Credit people.
we're banning those people, but the comics that we know in person who steal jokes from lesser comedians, we're just going to pretend like that's okay.
No, we don't pretend that's okay.
Yeah, but
When you get
aren't there a few
Gad
people?
Elmaleh or somebody who's like a known joke thief, you don't talk to those people.
I'm just winding you up because I know you're going to.
Yeah,
No, I don't have. Here's my deal. And
Ari keeps it real.
which I fucking love about him.
Yeah,
I don't always stick to it, but you make a moral code for yourself.
Yeah.
And you try your best to stick to it.
yeah,
You know, I don't want to cheat my wife, let's say, and then you fuck up and you do.
yeah.
So, but you have to take that pain in because you fucked up. But if it's like, I don't want to cheat my wife, but then your wife divorces you, you're like, well, then I can now fuck.
Yeah,
That's okay.
yeah,
I don't like to shit on comics who are just trying their best, even if they're bad. It's not your fault you're bad. We're all just trying to do our best, make our
Right.
own best dick
Right.
jokes. But people who steal, it's like, no, that's fuck you. You're
It's fucked
victimizing
up.
other people.
yeah.
So no, I don't have any sympathy for them. For those people, no, I don't talk to those people.
But there's some
Yeah, I don't
people.
care,
There's some
Yeah.
people who I see now like just kind of like trying to gang up on Fuck Jerry, who's not even in our community, doesn't do live stand up or whatever. But then I see them letting other people slide because they're fearful of how big they are.
It's weird. Sometimes people let people slide until it's really obvious, like evident to them they've done something wrong, and it's like, now I can't talk to you anymore. Like the rumors about Bill Cosby, we all
Yeah.
heard about it, and then when it was like, I guess maybe it's true, maybe it's not. No one's doing anything, and it's not my position to do anything. We all heard about it. Women also heard about it. It was like, I guess someone should take care. I don't know. But then when it's really, really evident, then you got to be like, okay, I would never talk to Bill Cosby anymore. Because
Right.
like, oh, he's for sure that, instead of just like maybe. So once you face it with like joke thieves and stuff like that, once it's like, let me show you the proofs, then you're like, yeah, I guess I can't just kind of like half think it might happen.
Yeah.
Once I know it is true, then I'm like, yeah, you got to get the fuck out of my life.
But isn't it
Right.
when you
Good
know
call.
someone, when you're friends with someone, it makes it. I could see how it could make it difficult. Like,
Well, Lisa said that once about she tries her best with her thoughts, but like, she wanted to say why men don't turn on men who have like examples of like or accusations of this stuff, and they always defend their friends. I'm like, well, it's the same thing as like when someone accuses one of your friends of joke stealing. You don't want to believe one of your friends can do that.
Right.
So you go, no, I think they thought of that on their own. You want to defend that. It's your
Right.
friend. You don't want to believe the worst in somebody. You don't want to believe they're rapists, joke thieves, thieves in general. You just don't want to believe that.
Right.
But when
Right.
you really, really see it, like, no, he actually had a dungeon. He was fucking torturing children. You're like, no. And then you're like, let me show you the proof. You're like, all right, he's out of my life.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's a
some
good call,
comedians who steal jokes, like people are just scared to say.
They're
it.
scared.
There's a few people who I'm thinking of, like I'm beating around the bush right now. There's like a few people who you
Well, you're afraid of the backlash, and nobody
Yeah.
wants to be the one. It's like, it's not my fight. I saw Tom Papa talking about this on Rogan's about Louis C.K. And he kept like, Joe was like, what do you think? Do you think it's too much of a punishment, or do you do anything wrong? And Todd Papa just kept like dodging it. And Joe was like, you don't want to answer this, do you? And he goes, it's not my mess, man. It's got
Yeah.
nothing to do with me. So why am I? Let's just talk about cooking like bread.
Yeah.
Why am I talking?
Yeah,
about
why
something
get into
that's
this
not
fight?
my
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Right or wrong, it's not me.
Yeah.
So a lot of that's too. It's like, they never stole anything from me. I don't know. I've heard a lot of this.
Yeah. You're not a
Because
victim
then,
of it.
What if the person came to you and goes, name me one joke I fucking stole? And if you couldn't,
yeah,
if you're just like, I just heard a lot.
yeah.
Where there's smoke, there's fire is one thing, but
Yeah.
when smoke, there's fire to tell everybody, it's like, I'm not really sure there was fire.
Right.
I probably think there was,
Yeah,
but not
good
enough
call.
to like go public about it.
How
Yeah.
important do you think, like Joe Rogan on the West Coast kind of does play that kind of moral cop for the community, and
What about joke
Patrice kind
stealing?
of
With joke stealing.
Yeah.
With joke stealing, it's like, you can't do that. This all
Yeah.
operates on you being able to do a joke and not have somebody from the crowd go, oh, that was so-and-so's joke. Like, no, that's fucking mine.
Yeah.
That guy saw me,
Yeah.
And
And I mean, coincidences happen, but when you see like a clear pattern,
when you
there's-
know it's after
Yeah.
a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And we've all done this too, where it's like you say a joke, and as soon as you say it, you're like, wait, that's somebody's.
Yeah.
Or even you're like, that's fucking John Caparulo's.
Right.
So, you know,
Right.
you just don't do it again.
Right.
You didn't do it in your special.
It's
you
kind
stop.
And it's kind of, but it's kind of obvious when someone has a clear pattern. You can kind of see like
there's a difference between like someone like accidentally crossing the street, bumping into someone who's crossing the other way, and they fall.
Yeah.
Versus somebody pushing somebody over on purpose.
Right.
You accidentally take a joke, you just stop doing it.
Right.
The fall reference, you'd be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. You'd help them up instead of like, fuck off.
Right.
Yeah, you see a clear pattern on certain people.
Yeah, you know people are pushing. You know those people are pushing people down.
Yeah,
it's fucked up because a lot of they always take lesser known comedians' jokes because that's the whole malice in it.
Yeah,
it's like you can't.
Well, because they know they're not going to fight back. Or like MNC used to do that with like openers.
Yeah.
And if they complain, like you're fired for the week.
Right.
You know, and it's like, well, now what position do I have to be able to like stop that guy?
Right.
None.
I guess the Gad thing is different because it's different cultures, right? So he was doing like
in French.
He was taking in French. He was taking like because Seinfeld's huge, so that kind of.
So the way I don't know why Seinfeld talks to God. I really don't.
Yeah.
The way Mike Ward says it is those French comedians.
Yeah.
So let me back up and give context. When Des Bishop kind of helped start English speaking comedy in China, in Beijing, they come from a culture, the comedy culture there was like, it was more like Laurel and Hardy was like their style, like one off each other, you know? And so when they started like, do your own stuff, do like now fresh new things, they would sometimes steal jokes and they would like steal Chris Rock's jokes. And then they would just be like, well, it's funny, it worked. And he was in this position of like, do I tell this burgeoning community of like just monologist comedy, do I tell them like, you can't do that? They don't have copyright laws there.
Right.
So they don't understand the idea of why would you not? It's a joke. Like, but you didn't write it. Like, yeah, of course I didn't write it.
Right.
But like in fourth grade, when you do a joke, no one's like, you didn't write that. You're like, right, yeah. None of us wrote our fucking fourth grade jokes.
Right.
So he's like, do I tell them to not do that and slow down the development? Or do I let them like get into like originality way later?
Right.
Like let them get going. So in France, I don't know what the thing was back then, but the rumor was always all the big French comics were like, you get Rock, you get Seinfeld, I'll take Kaufman, you take that, and you just get all their shit, translate it to French, and do whatever the fuck you want.
Holy shit. So that was kind of the culture.
Yeah. So there's those French comics. God was one of them that like he said like he's such a reputation about him that like Mike Ward said like afterwards some set he was like, hey, good set. That was funny. He goes, just so you know, I did that on TV already. Like immediately. Don't like take the compliment. You're like, I know what you're getting at. I've done it on TV. Don't take it from me.
Wow.
Yeah, where it gets that bad.
So, because I was going to say, can you blame him less because it was the culture of all French comedians?
Right, so I don't know. I don't know. But at some point when you're going to French Canada where they don't have that culture, it's like, do some research.
Right.
I don't know. Or stay there, I guess. Yeah, so like, right. So if it's a different culture, I can't fully wrap my head around that.
Right.
Just like I said, like in China, it's different.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't want you around.
Right.
We used to have messages when Mencia came in. We'd have like, he'd pull up in the parking lot at the Comedy Store. It'd be like kind of like if they were up at the olive tree, at whatever, like a known thief, and so he was going to go down. Someone downstairs, the equivalent, but parking lot, someone would come in and go, and they'd be like, all right, you guys, that's it for me?
Dude, that's like a fucking ghetto pigeon, flipping a pigeon when the cops are coming.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it to have him in there.
But now I've heard that Mencia, like, obviously doesn't steal anymore. He can't, but like rips with his own new stuff. Is that true? I don't know.
I don't know.
You don't know, yeah.
I don't.
Because my only question is
because
like,
people would do that too. Like, well, that joke's not stolen. I'm like, how do you know that's not stolen? You don't know all jokes.
Right. Yeah.
He would sit in the back with a pen and notepad.
Yeah, and he admitted as such. Yeah.
Yeah. And he would sit and watch open mics.
It's fucking gross.
With a notepad.
It's actually gross.
Yeah.
Dude, I almost kind of feel like
he viewed it as I'm freeing these jokes from these people who don't know how to do them right.
Yeah, because he's a fucking
he
asshole.
warps it. He warps it. That's like Nazi mentality right there.
That's a rationalization. It's a
that's a German thing to do right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just fucking be like, we need to get rid of them because we're the superior race.
Okay, on this podcast, History Hyenas, right now, who's the biggest offender who's sliding right now? I'm just kidding. We don't have to say it.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. That was great.
The problem is until you know, it's really tough to go public with something.
Yeah.
Well, now, I mean, with YouTube and these compilations, it's like you know.
Yeah,
you're seeing them steal them.
There's a new kid from New Orleans that I'm hearing like a lot of bad shit about.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, I got to do more research. But like, yeah, this one guy was like, he stole the 3 sets from me that I've done on television. I don't know what to do.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm like, Quinn, whatever. What's Quinn's name? fuck, I forget his last name, but he was like, yeah, I'm not sure how to handle this. And it's like, I gotta look more into it. But again, it doesn't affect me, so I'm not in the rush to go look it up.
Right.
But yeah, it sucks, man, when you have your joke stolen.
Right.
And it's not just a coincidence. You're like, you saw me do that. Now you're trying to do it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. I think that's why I guess the more autobiographical you stay, the less chance. But even that, they can steal it.
I remember Paul
steal your
was talking
essence.
about that after the Mencia Rogan stuff happened. Everyone was doing it, and I went to the UCB, the big UCB show, the big alt show, and he goes, "Yeah, because you don't just do jokes, do something original and unique." And it's like, I think you're missing the point there, man.
Yeah, just don't steal jokes. Yeah.
I think you actually can take someone's stuff.
Yeah.
Even if it's unique, because you can just make it your own.
Yeah, somehow.
Yeah, you can say this happened to me. Mencia had one where he was like, he took this joke from this guy Carlos Alazraqui.
Oh yeah,
or maybe it was Carlos Oscar. I forget. But
Alazraqui is from Reno 911.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
It might have been Carlos Oscar though, and he was about growing up in a in a surfer town with a Mexican name, and everyone was like, "Hey, Carlos," like they didn't know how to say his name right. And Mencia would do that one, and it was like, "But that wasn't even your name until you started stand up. Your name was Ned."
Right.
So
it clearly
that just
caught.
wasn't a thing that happened to you.
Yeah, caught.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just awful. It's a fucking shitty feeling. So those people, I'm like, do your best. Honestly, fine. I've messed up before, and I've shit on comics publicly who are trying their honest best, and I'm wrong to do that. But when somebody's stealing, fuck off. You don't get that from me.
Yeah.
Well, there's
I agree.
Yeah. Some of them get so powerful that people just are scared.
There's that too, and it's not your fight. So it's like, why? I hate Ticketmaster, and at some point, my agent's like, "Dude, Pearl Jam didn't beat them. You're not going to beat them. You can keep shitting on them publicly if you want, for charging your fans 35 to 50% on top of your tickets that they don't get.
Right.
It's an evil corporation. But at some point, like, do you want to fight them?
Yeah,
you ain't going to win.
I got a really interesting question. I know we're running late, but where does your moral code come from if you don't believe in God? Like, what is compelling you? What's that thing that's making you go, "This is wrong"?
Well, a good question.
Yeah.
I think it's like we all kind of do this, but some are more conscious of it than others. You decide what kind of human you want to be, and you like, have you ever talked shit to someone about someone around a booker, or like you're talking shit about a comic, and then Patrick, let's say, he'll come and is like, "Who are you talking about?" Like, nobody, man, because I can't. I don't want to be the guy who shits on someone and gets them less spots.
Right.
So like, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you fuck up.
But why?
Because it's like you decide what kind of person you want to be.
Right. And you just want to be a good person.
Yeah.
Or what you decide is a good person.
Yeah.
Some people like Wall Street, remember the movie Wall Street?
Yeah.
Their moral code is make money.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. So you make your own moral code. You make your own moral compass.
Yeah.
You want to be a good father, you know?
Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah. Yeah.
You want to be a trans man that is accepted by your friends and community? That's
Absolutely.
up to you.
That's what I want to.
No.
I want to, but we'll see.
Because if you want to crawl into someone's lap, nobody's going to judge you.
I don't want to crawl in
I don't
lap,
judge you.
But like, for example, like if we all slept over, like I wouldn't mind, going head to toe, whatever, sleeping on the beanbag.
And I told you.
It doesn't feel weird to me to be in close proximity to a man.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
If a trans woman is hot enough,
You'll suck their dick.
I'm a Greek kid. You're going to get banged out. What's your quirk? You got something. There's something.
I know there's something in there. Your fucking inbred Jew brain.
I'm a choker.
Yeah. Thank you, Zach.
If I just rest my hand on the throat of a woman, I'm just like, boom, rock hard.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you like to,
a slap across the face. That I didn't even know about. In San Diego, this chick was like, hit me. I'm like, I'm not going to hit you. She goes, fucking hit me. And I'm like, all right. I kind of like did a little tap on her face. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry. Are you a fucking faggot? That's what she said.
Oh, nice.
Are you a fucking faggot? I was like, what? She goes, hit me. And I fucking open hand slapped her. And it was like, yep. That's what I'm into.
Yeah.
Wow.
No idea until just then.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I might be into it. I don't know it yet.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so, the sexual.
Well, how did you know you were into feet? Did you just see a girl's feet in kindergarten? I'm like, I want to put those in my mouth?
Yeah. Where did that come from?
My fetishes always started with some person who I was emotionally kind of in love with.
When he was a kid, he used to put stockings on and
I used
jerk
to put
off.
stockings on. Yeah. First time I
His
did.
dad caught him. Yeah.
I used to lay out the porno mags and then jerk off with them. And
What? Did you really put stockings on?
Yeah, what happened was I was attracted to the stockings for some reason. My mother had this bag of stockings. I got attracted to the stockings. And then at some point they just went on. And then I had this fetish for stockings. And it's funny, when my dad caught me, he pushed the door open. I was trying to hold it and he caught me and he was standing. He just goes, it's one of the first jokes I ever wrote too. I did it in my second set. He just looks at me, he goes, does mom know?
Oh my God.
I was like, yeah, Dad, she helped me pick them out. Like,
Yeah.
if there was a time I needed some fucking fatherly advice, I was a confused 9-year-old kid. I was wearing stockings.
Jerking off.
Yeah, but then that fetish went away. And then my fetish always kind of changes. Like the brain is so fucking wild.
Yeah, your fetish changed. My friend was like, I'm really into chicks with big tits because he was dating a chick with big tits. And then later he dated this really tiny girl. And he goes, I like A cups. And it's like, oh, yeah, just because that's what you're getting.
Yeah, I guess I'm one of those. It changes with whoever I'm with, or whatever.
With the joke stealing, you're talking about like a female comic?
Yeah,
dude,
maybe.
I think it's around the corner with them.
You think so?
I think it's around the corner and coming out with everybody. You just need to like, no.
Yeah, because I just feel like I see a lot of people who she's helped a lot, like going after fuck Jerry. I'm like, well, what about
exactly.
What's the rules here now?
Okay, so I actually heard something that's interesting on some speech of some lady who helped start Black Lives Matter movement, and she said the issue. They were like, what about these bad men? She was like Louis and Aziz and stuff. She goes, well, here's the issue. It's binaryism. When you make everything either black or white, good or bad, you're too. It's not. Like, it's not straight and gay. There's lots of different other things,
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, it's like that with humans too. You can be good in a lot of ways in your life and then also bad in a lot of ways. And you don't have to be like, that person's evil.
Mm-hmm.
Because what about all the charity?
Right.
Charity is not bad.
Right.
What fucking the cyclist did was fucking great for cancer.
Right.
Right.
Bad for the sport.
Right.
So you can be both at once.
Right.
Everyone's living in this comic book justice where there's good guys and bad guys.
And you want to, even shitty comics who haven't done anything wrong, you want to be like, that guy sucks. But like, what about that one joke? And you want to hate that joke too. But like, if they're getting 1 out of 10 jokes good, that's a really bad percentage. But that doesn't mean that one joke wasn't really good.
Yeah.
When you put it in a binary world of either all sucky or all good, and it's the other way too. Like you get like a great comic like Burr or something like that, or Louis or anybody, where you're like, man, that joke was actually kind of lame. You're allowed to think one joke, and they probably do too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good call.
So with the joke thieves also, it's like, yeah, they can also be good for comedy in other ways.
Right.
Just stop doing this one thing.
Right. And you can't ignore that one. You can't just pretend it's not there.
Yeah.
I mean, because
I think
how important is that joke police? Because it's like, it's the only thing we have, really. It's like,
because no one's defending us.
Nobody
so
will defend. There's no courts or anything.
There's no union.
And that's why all the social media was that now the defense for rape, because like, the cops weren't doing anything.
Right.
And maybe because it's a tough crime to prove and to prosecute, maybe for whatever reason. But the fact is, these women are like, hey, these chicks are getting raped and no one's going to jail over it.
Right.
Or not as a high enough rate. So we got to do something by ourselves.
Right.
If it's stealing, we put up cameras and we try to punish them. And that's the way people will stop stealing.
Right.
So with joke stealing, no one's going to protect us. So we're going to take matters in our own hands.
Right.
And that's when you get Paul Rodriguez holding fucking Mencia up by his throat against the wall and slapping him because like the law ain't gonna do this, so I'm doing it myself.
Right. Here's my question though. I don't think anyone knows how to act. Like, how do you act when, like, so are you just not supposed? Let's say someone has a reputation. Everyone kind of knows. There's compilations or whatever have you. Whatever evidence you want to say is out there. It's obvious. Let's just say that. How do you act? You ignore a person? If you were formerly friends, if that person helped you a lot, put a lot of money, how do you act?
Well, let's say one of your
Are we supposed to get together and be like, we're no longer talking to that person?
Let's say one of your friends did something shitty.
Yeah.
Like, are you allowed to say to your friend, like, dude, that was fucking shitty. I'm still friends with you, but like, why'd you do that to that guy?
Right.
Let's say you like beat somebody up. Like, that's not enough for anybody. Like, we're excommunicating him, but it is enough to be like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're way stronger than him. Why'd you punch that guy?
Right.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
Right.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to say things aren't cool. So maybe it's that.
But with
maybe
Mencia,
not.
it went further. Mencia was like banned. Like everyone just shunned him.
He was already sort of shunned.
But he was that egregious? Was he egregious?
He was nonstop.
Yeah.
It was like, it wasn't just a few jokes. It was just like he was looking to take jokes.
Can he go to the Comedy Store even today, or he's
He
not?
can't do spots. He tried when the new talent coordinator came, and he was like, I'd like to go up, like just to bump on. And the talent coordinator was like, I don't think
We're
so.
not
And there's
allowed to.
Adam Egan, who changed everything, opened the doors to Silverman and Ron White and Hannibal and all these people. Like, hey, you're a great comic. You're in. Fuck the old system of showcasing. I know who you are. You're in.
Right.
Here's the number to call in.
That's a great. I respect that.
Yeah.
That's a great fucking.
The old lady's gone.
I hate when these fucking bookers pretend like they're some sort of
Could you send me a tape?
genius
Like,
on
what,
like
Marcos?
picking.
You want me to send you a fucking tape?
Yeah, you don't fucking know.
I had 3 specials. I'm not
Yeah.
sending you a tape. Go fucking Google me, and there's your tape.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or ask around. People know.
So he stopped that, and so Mencia's like, "I want to go out next." He goes, "I don't think so, man." He goes, and Carlos, according to the story I heard, was like, "Why?" And then Adam was like, "Dude, you're not an idiot.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what this is.
Yeah.
You know what this is. You victimize like you can't. I get it. You're a paid regular, and there's rules I can't go over. Mitzi passed you a long time ago, so you're not a paid regular. But like, no, you don't just get to bump people anymore.
Yeah.
You've intentionally looked at people to say, I'm bumping Chris. He's doing well. What time is he on? I'll be there 5 minutes before. I'm bumping. It's like
Yeah.
that shit's. You're not supposed to do that shit.
You can't do that. Yeah.
So
How
then
about
like,
just
no.
like getting up in the middle of someone's set or whatever?
Yeah, there's that shit too.
Is that
yeah,
bad?
dude, she yelled at me for that.
Yeah.
But that's so wrong. It was so wrong. This kid's fucking headline. You can't interrupt the middle of his set.
Who yelled at you for that?
Schumer.
Oh wow, that's what I wasn't talking about that. I don't know. Who
Wait,
we were
what
talking-
are you guys talking about?
I don't know. I'm just letting
What,
Ari
the
say
thing,
it.
the Colin Quinn thing?
No.
No, with
So you had it out about that?
No,
Yeah.
she had it out. I made too many fat jokes. But it was like, wow. But the whole focus of the topic was don't bump somebody in the middle of their fucking set. But she made it about fat jokes. But I was like, I made more fat jokes about Big J.
Wait, she was upset with you for making fat jokes?
Yeah. So Bobby Kelly
Where
has
on stage?
no Legion of Skanks.
Oh.
Bobby Kelly has this line. You know when you find somebody's line and they get like mad? His line is stupid. I called him dumb like 3 times in a row. We're in an airport going to Denmark.
Oh, you were saying it personally about her on Legion of Skanks and
Yeah.
she got pissed about it.
Yeah. And
Oh,
Bobby
okay.
Kelly was like,
Gotcha.
you said it? That's enough.
Right.
And I was like, half of me wanted to be like, I'm going to say it again. But the other half was like, you seem too mad. It's not worth it anymore.
Yeah.
You triggered something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's just her thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, nah, you're a comic. Say whatever you want. You
Yeah.
can
I'm
make
kind of.
jokes about me. You can make fucking,
Yeah,
absolutely.
whatever jokes you want.
You can
about
say
me.
whatever you want.
I might not find it funny, but I ain't going to try to stop you from saying it.
Right.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
yeah.
You might not elicit a laugh from me.
Right.
Right.
Especially, yeah. All right.
Well, it was a good fucking ep.
that was a great.
It was all
app.
about. It was that was the most hour and 20 minutes I've never talked about Jews that much, and I feel good.
Oh, nice.
I feel. I mean, I want to take a shower, but I feel good.
Can you say huh? Do you have that?
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech-
Chanish.
Let's see if you
not
can
bad.
guess how many bar mitzvahs I've been by how far I get.
Okay.
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech mele Eloheinu.
That's so close. That's like, okay, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. That's the equivalent of you just doing that.
So it's not bad.
No, I knew what you were getting at,
Yeah.
but it was off.
Yeah.
If that was in front of a synagogue, the rabbi would be like, hey, let's get somebody else to do it right. So make sure we're covered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking great.
Moshlemcha. You speak Hebrew?
Ashlemech,
Moshlemech.
Yeah.
Posedech.
Yeah, I understand a little bit. It started to come back to me when I was there this last year. In December.
Moshlemech.
wanna
There's a
go
lot
out
of.
there.
There's a lot
There's a lot of
of.
that.
Does sound like a cat fight a little bit.
Yeah.
Moshlemech.
All right, boys. Well, listen, boys and girls, others.
Thank
Go
you,
to-
Ari. Thank you for having us.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Listen
Thanks for
to,
being on.
of course, if you don't know Ari, he's got a great podcast.
Well,
Ari
of course
Shaffir,
they do
Skeptic
know.
Tank.
They're podcast listeners.
They are Skeptic
Yeah, and
Tank.
Ari Shaffir, please put us on Skeptic Tank so we can get to the
Yeah, I
next
told
level
you
in our
Montreal,
career.
I wanted just about Bay Ridge. I always cover one topic. I
Yeah,
want to
can
do
we
one
do it?
Rich.
just about Bay
Yeah,
Ridge.
because that's the only chance we have right now is to get on guys like yours podcast. Nobody else is going to make our careers but you.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Seriously,
the cool thing
just
about
the
stand-up
truth.
right now. It's this thing of like before you could only put somebody as a writer on your show or a series
Yeah.
regular or like an opener. And those aren't many jobs to give out.
Yeah.
But now you're like, oh, yeah, sure, I'll tweet. You're recording special. Hey, guys, go
It's
watch
the
the Christmas
best.
And
special.
then I just sell tickets.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
think it's just an amazing time that comedians have power
You can all
like
look
that.
you can
yeah.
all look out for each other.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's a fucking amazing thing. It's
Yeah.
like I would rather have that career than be picked by somebody at a network that like is a failed improv
Exactly.
person, you know?
Yeah,
I'd rather be
exactly.
picked
Like, I
by
think you're great. Like, well, I don't really care about your opinion.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
need your power, but I don't care about your opinion. I'll act like I care about your opinion, but I
Right.
don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But if Colin Quinn or Burr, I remember Burr once, I was on stage making a joke about Asians saying they feed their babies General So sauce in bottles.
right.
And I remember him just going through and hearing his distinctive laugh and just going, fuck.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all that matters is like
Yeah.
you want the approval of the people you respect
Yeah.
because it is an art form and you respect somebody the way somebody else does it. And if they like what you're doing, you're going like maybe I'm doing this right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But if somebody who's like just some fucking bit, you're like going
You're like,
exactly like you said.
but-
I'm just pretending.
Yeah, like I feel like me being invited to Colin Quinn's wedding is for me is like better than being invited to the fucking Oscars because it's like who cares about that? But Colin Quinn respecting me
is
is
important.
validation
Yeah.
and at least gives me confidence I'm doing this thing right.
Right.
And now that we're coming at a time where like actually the power has swung to comedians, like is there anyone more powerful right now than Joe Rogan in comedy?
I don't think
I
so.
mean, he's like the Tonight
the
Show.
Tonight
It's
Show.
like-
You get on his show, you'll kill.
Positive power. Yeah, I don't think so.
I mean, you have to kill on his show. You can't just be there.
Yeah, but
like you and Bert Kreischer and Theo Von and Segura, you guys murder on that show, and then your comedy's so
Theo's the best example. He finally went on once and murdered one time, and his new credit was from Joe Rogan.
good. Yeah, and now he sells out wherever he goes.
Yeah. And he's had writers tell him too, like real novel writers, and they're like, "Oh, I've gone on Stern. It doesn't move the needle in terms of like sales like this does."
Yeah, Rogan is it.
Yeah.
But really not just Rogan, all your guys' shows.
Podcasts.
You know?
I'm getting a lot more calls. You guys will too from publicists
Right.
saying, "Can you have this person on?"
Oh, yeah.
It's weird.
I hired a publicist and that for my special, and she got me on big podcasts.
Who, Pam?
Pam, yeah, she got me on Bert Kreischer, Theo Von. That's what it was all podcasting.
Yeah.
It's a great time where comedians can kind of help you. I think it's the best.
And also, we're all looking for guests.
Yeah.
So if someone comes on, like, "Hey, can sure, I want to have you on anyway." So that's a good excuse.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
It's not, you think the industry's kind of floundering? Like, what do we do? We're losing. I mean, like, the central nervous system is fucking being attacked. The industry. I mean, if Joe because we were talking about what you look at his numbers.
Yeah.
He's got to be making by the numbers. I mean, like
money-wise?
Yeah, an insane amount of like Seinfeld money. Like yeah. You see?
Yeah.
It's like he's
What is Seinfeld, like $2 million an episode for 22 episodes a year? 5 at the last year, I think 5 at the last year. The year before that was 2, and the year before that was 1 for a few years.
Just by the numbers, you're going. Advertisers see that they're gonna give the same because the eyeballs, the ears, whatever you want to call them, are there.
Yeah.
So it's like he's making that.
Yeah.
And like I love people who are from the old world going like, that's not
That's
true.
not it.
It's like you're just a dumb person. You're a stupid human being.
Here's what set it off for me.
Yeah.
When I saw Kamal Bell's show on FXX, I guess I moved to FXX. When they split, half all the comedy ones got FXX. And they said it got canceled, and the last episode of his show had 11,000 viewers.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. 11,000 viewers. And this was me early in my podcast. I'm like, well, I get 50,000 per episode now. So then it was like, why do I want to do TV?
Yeah.
To get less people? No, obviously, if you're on something massive, then it's way more people. But just TV, that's no longer better than what I'm doing on my own.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if a show's getting 100,000, you're like,
I do better than that.
Yeah.
Rogan said that about sitcoms once. He goes, just in terms of the publicity you get, he goes, on a sitcom, you got 6 people. They're all on it in different scenes. It's 22 minutes total. You're probably on for 7 minutes. Maybe if it's a sitcom with only a couple people in it, like Will and Grace or something, 13 minutes of the episode you're on. 13 minutes once a week for 22 weeks. And he goes, I am playing a character. He goes, I am myself for 3 straight hours, 2 to 3 times a week for 52 weeks.
Yeah.
So, like, who's going to be more into me or fucking the gay dude from Will and Grace?
Right.
Right. It's a good call. It's a good point.
Yeah.
And it's what we're all noticing now, and we feel like
yourself.
at least
You don't have to be phony too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like when
and it's also just the digital sphere and the independent landscape is the way to go.
And like even like with these late night shows, like I wanted to do, try to get on late night shows to promote my special, and they wouldn't have my comedy the way I wanted it. They're like, oh, you can't do a Puerto Rican accent. You can't make fun of peanut allergies. It's like, so then why am I don't care. Because on Bert Kreischer's podcast or Theo Von's podcast, I did. And I got a lot of followers from it. So it's like, that was not going to happen on the Tonight Show.
Yeah. Rogan talked about that. Moshe, when he had a show on Comedy Central.
Oh, yeah.
And they picked a topic, kind of like do on my podcast. And then, he was hunting. It was guns. And like, would you be on? And he was like, and he thought about it. And he was like, no, because it's 30 minutes. Panel, a bunch of people interrupting me, so I'm going to be on for at best 7-8 minutes of being able to make my point, or I can make my point in very nuanced form over 3 full hours and multiple episodes.
Yeah,
so it's like, why would I? And also, by the way, for way less viewers.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing will get taken out of context.
Because you can be like, by the way, I did say this, but I should say that guy's a really great guy. You get to put all that shit in.
Yeah, no editing. It's
Do you think the podcast format is just the now and the future because people's attention spans has changed and the way life has changed? So like with podcasts, you can incorporate the podcast into what you're already doing. Whereas it used to be people tuned in for entertainment.
Right.
But now there's so many options. People are like, I want to do this while I'm jogging. I want to do this while I'm cooking. I want to do this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And by the way, people shit on the idea that like
you could tune in, tune out.
Specials out now, or there's too many podcasts, and it's like it's not special. It's like it doesn't have to be special. That wasn't the joy of it. The joy of it was doing your own thing and having people have access. So if people discover you now, or discover you next time you put out a special, they'll be like, "Oh, does he have anything else?" Like, yeah, all his old stuff,
Right, they
is
go back,
completely accessible.
Right.
Yeah.
And instead of like, "No, you missed it." There's no missed it
It
anymore.
stays up on the land. Yeah.
So why not have everyone have access? All comics should have specials.
Yeah.
And then the good ones will be passed around.
You know,
Yeah.
it almost feels too good to be true because for me, like doing this or doing a pod is like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone telling me what to do ever. And that now that you can actually monetize this to fruition is like, it almost seems too good to be true. You're like, what's the catch?
Yeah.
Is ISIS going to do something? What's the fucking catch?
Yeah, exactly. Is it going to go downhill?
you're-
And
as
some of
someone
it goes downhill when they start putting stuff like this into print and they take like it out of like a context of an area. And
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
here's and like, I kind of ruining it. But as long as you just ignore that,
Yeah, because even still, you just keep going and it goes
just
away.
keep going. Exactly. Never, ever comment on backlash. That's my advice to any comic. When you get one of those e-rages, you just stay quiet. Even if you're wrong, you say you're wrong to the person you hurt, exactly that person.
That's good advice.
And then, but no public, don't eat, because then more people find out about it. And then your apologies gets picked apart. You said it the wrong way. Just let it go away. You caught a cold. It sucks, but you're going to have a sniffly nose for a while. You're going to have a couple get canceled gigs. You want to change it, but you won't change it. So just ignore it and let it pass.
Yeah.
Do you
Good
think
advice.
you think Louis fucked himself by that apology?
I thought it was one of the more honest ones.
Yeah. But
He
it still
say-
didn't work. It
It
fucked
didn't
him.
work.
Yeah,
He didn't say the exact word sorry. It's
Yeah.
like, gee, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say I'm not going to fucking attack these women. Oh, or I don't want to go into nuance. Like, yeah, it was a long time ago, and some of these women were into it, and some of the, he's just like, nah, they're right. I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And be like, fuck you.
If anything,
You
that,
didn't do it right.
that proved that apologies don't help you.
Mhm.
If it's
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
Well, thank you, Ari.
Thank
I
you, Ari.
appreciate it.
Skeptic tank. Fucking.
If you were Ray wrong.
Yeah.
If there was video of you knocking over a nun on that crosswalk,
you have to apologize for that.
then you'd be like, oh, by the way, no, guys, I did not. That was an accident. I am way sorry that happened.
Yeah.
Because you really are.
Yeah.
But not when they force you into it. Just keep
Yeah.
quiet.
Yeah.
All right,
So-
boys.
Skeptic tank. You got.
I got a special double negative on Netflix.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Which is great. And then your new shit. I can't wait to see it because I've seen a lot of it and I really love it, man. I love your
Thanks.
shit.
Thanks,
Thanks for doing this.
Yeah. Patreon.com/BayRidgeBoys at History Hyenas. On Instagram, Christy Comedy, Giannis Pappas on Instagram. You know what it is. I'm going to go suck some dicks.